We're live, and I can see everything. Okay, good. I can see you guys. I actually might have more space on my side that I don't need. Tag friends. Let me tag these humans. I'm just tagging random humans. Be like, why did he tag me? This is weird. You're a human. You can get this tag.
You can get the scoop later.
You can get the scoop later.
No.
Yours? Okay. Let's see.
I'm just tagging.
Can I get that candy right there?
Yes. I'm just tagging the random of the randomest. All right, so we are live. I don't know. I'm going on the camera. Oh, you're live too.
Walking around the wilds of the desert. I just got a pedicure. Like, the fuck is this? I know you're paying me.
You know, a lot of complaining. You sound like Roy and Maul.
Whatever. New Roy and Maul.
Yeah, we'll let you take your lead with that. I know you.
Hey, you already know. You already know.
You think 10 seconds, you go with it.
I'm gonna get mine, goddammit.
Guess what, y'all?
Chicken butt.
Guess what happened?
What happened?
Hold on.
Oh, shit.
Hold on.
You're
Where'd it go?
Yeah.
Where'd it go? Hey! We got sounds, bitch!
We don't have recordings though.
Well, you gotta get that together. Because right now we just live on Facebook. So those of y'all who know the deal, y'all know the vibes. You gotta share the show, share it everywhere, share as much as you can. I would share on my regular page, but I once again am in Facebook jail. Because you know they don't be fucking with me. They be like, nah, bitch, you gotta shut up. Like, silence! Silence! So, you know, can we turn on the air? Because I know it's about to get hot in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's getting hot in here. Did you tag Melanie or did you tag Elaine?
I tried to tag both. I think I only tagged Melanie.
Because Melanie can't share anything. Elaine can.
But Elaine need to go to my page and find the post and then share the jump. Sure.
That's it.
And how does this look here? Let me see how this visual looks. How y'all doing?
Fired up.
I'm talking to a crowd. I'm in a concert.
You look good.
How y'all doing out there?
How y'all doing? Like say, you gotta
Ready for a good show?
put
Say
the mic,
yeah.
put the mic to the audience. You know.
Oh, why that message show? My private messages are showing.
You're making
it.
Welcome to the party today.
Right. Oh, wait a minute. So I think we look good. What you guys think?
I think so too.
I think we look really good.
I got this yellow popping.
Good money.
I got my this is a bed, but it's really a panda, but it's in color. Shout out to Panda. Bradley Beal, the Washington Wizards. Even before we get started, you know what? Goddamn, let's go ahead and get started so I can. Let's just go ahead and get started, man.
Oh, I'm about to annoy y'all.
Guys! Hold on, let me share this to the page. Make sure it's shared to the page. That's most importance in North America today. It's on the page. We can get started. It's officially done. And now we in the mix. So I'm gonna hit it again. That's what I told her too. I'm gonna hit it again. Get back, guys! Welcome to a pod named Kickback. It's like a Tribe Called Quest. You say the whole thing. Also known as the Black CNN.
And the revolution
will be televised. I'm No Breaks New, the righteous ratchet. If you throw it, I'll catch it. If you got it, I'll match it. Every Monday. We right back at it. I am the Black Savage.
What up, what up? I am your humble, gracious, gratifying, and glorious.
Really?
I'm here for it.
Joe Budden. She not Mel. She Joe Budden.
Joanna Budden. No, what up? What's up, y'all? It's your girl Melody Dion, also known as So Mellow, the Queen of Creeps, the Breaker of Men, also known as the Conscious Creep, here for another week.
And we got some special guests in the building today. I told you guys we had a lot to talk about. We got to talk about the Joe Budden podcast, Implosion. We got to talk about what Jayden Smith is doing, which is great. The tragedy behind Pop Smoke's death. Elise Stefaniks, these Republicans are getting dirty.
You fucking weirdos.
The NBA Hall of Fame. J. Cole and Nicki Minaj and Migos put out new music. We got a new book by Tamika Mallory. But first, we have to introduce our guest host today. I don't know if I should let you introduce yourself or I should introduce you. I can. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves or you want me to give you like that fancy television introduction?
No. It's your girl, Shannon Crystal, singer-songwriter in the neighborhood. Hello. Happy to be here in GA.
Hey,
Get used to hearing this voice. Y'all know what's up.
Hey, you know the vibes.
Be more in the building.
Welcome to Atlanta.
Thank you.
Yes. Welcome.
J. Lou from Uptown, DC. Checking in.
You already know. You already know what that means.
The DMV.
Indeed.
I got horns, y'all.
Okay.
You know, I've been on it. No, we have horns now.
All out.
Alright, let's see.
So we definitely enjoyed doing a podcast on all of the iterations. But I think 4 people, 4 opinions, male, female, get into it is the shit. So we're gonna show you why I think that in a second. But before we do that, a lot of the kickbackers may not know J. Lou, one of the biggest kickback supporters in the game right now. Shannon, Lil Sis, we had a record label together. We did music. She sings like an angel, and she had her own podcast back in Baltimore. So, having said that, this might give them a little bit of a better idea of who you guys are. Let's start with high low, and to show you guys how it goes, I'm gonna let Mel kick off high low.
Okay.
Then I'll go. Then Shannon. Then J. Lou. So show them how to do high low.
Alright, so my low of the week this week, y'all. You know, I've been doing so well on my weight loss journey. Well, I cheated last week and I had to pay for it this week. So like 7 of the pounds, well, you know, I lost like 6-7 pounds, right? I gained like 5 of them back. But I'm back down 3 more pounds. So, you know, it sucks. I had to put in a little extra work this week, but that was my low. Gaining all that weight because clothes start to fit a little differently. It's amazing how you just a few pounds make all the difference in the world.
Yep.
So, water.
That's what I tell women like that. It's a few pounds, just an extra. 3 more pounds could get her there.
You lucky I don't have a sound effect queued up right now to give
I'm
me
just-
the
I'm
game
just-
show.
Okay, you know what? You skip what I said.
So what's the
Okay.
high? What's the high?
My high of the week is actually having y'all 2 on here because I think this is a great, I don't want to call it an official new beginning, but like I like the vibes already. And when we were talking about it, I was like, I think I like the way this sounds already. So I'm very happy to have the both of you here. That is definitely my high of the week. I'm looking forward to seeing how things play out with y'all.
Yeah. Dang.
Well, just to piggyback off her high, this is actually my low of the week, you 2 being here. It's actually my low. It was, I'm playing.
I was waiting for you to explain because I was about to say,
What's
high?
you know what?
Like high. The type of high that you can't get in there type of high. What you talking about?
What was that?
This is birds and shit.
Yeah, the bird chirping. Because she was just real, like, yeah, nah.
Oh, no. Okay, so my high of the week.
I don't know. Try to nigga go. I hit the wrong button, okay?
No, it was just that he was coming for the songbird. So.
Oh, boom, see,
You know.
it all makes sense.
You heard all that.
Here we go. Our COVID studio audience. Don't even sound like games. So we was smacking the name. My high of the week, and this is like it's not anything important like spiritual or just family. It's, the Wizards made the play-in this week. I'm a diehard Wizard fan. I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. I'm a diehard Mystics fan. All my teams didn't do shit this year.
I'm the Cowboy.
None of my teams did nothing. And so they had the Wizards turn their season around. It was inspirational to me, and it motivated me, and it made me feel good. I want Scott Brooks fired, but it just made me feel good. And sometimes you just gotta go by a good feeling. What feels good? That felt good.
That's all the time.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
My low of the week,
The audience agrees.
listen, my low of the week is gonna be a little challenging. I got some personal family shit that isn't going the way it should. Everybody isn't standing up and being accountable for everything. And that was kind of my low, because that means that I got, as the young patriarch of my family, I got to step in and hey, I got to tell 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 70-year-old people, hey, we doing this.
Step your shit up.
And it's like, I ain't the oldest person. Why I gotta be the one? Why I gotta be the bad guy? But I know it's my role, and realizing it wasn't a low, but realizing what I had to do, it's like, I do it. Who else gonna do it?
I'll go.
It makes sense.
Exactly, I'll go. So I'll be home end of the month, family. We got a conversation to have. Prepare yourself.
Be the bad guy.
He said you can
Oh,
see
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
As long as there ain't no babies.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, that would be a good thing. Any single women out there want to have? Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah, that's
on the flavor of new.
No.
Flavor of new.
No,
Okay.
and you better know that on the flavor of the new, guess who's gonna be there to have to approve you?
Heard.
Facts.
Heard.
Facts.
So,
Listen.
Good luck.
yeah, definitely good luck. Okay, so I'll go on to my high and low. My low of the week has definitely been sneaking out the back door of home. Gotta be honest. Like, I didn't tell a lot of people that I was moving. Some people knew, but some people don't. It depended on who stumbled upon the information. And having to leave a lot behind, like, a lot of people might feel like I don't really care about what I left back at home, but I left a lot back at home. I'm excited for the new beginning, but it is, like, bittersweet, the irony of new beginnings, because they mean old endings. And my high is us moving here. Like, I'm so glad to be here. It's been a long time coming. I completely understand at this point why it took so long, and it's definitely
19 years.
long. Yeah, shut your.
Okay.
I mean, I was here at one point. This is the second time that I'm moving, but ending like a real true adult. This is the first time that I'm being able to come here and fully focus and ready to, like, really show the world what I'm made of. And I had to get to this point. Nobody could get to this point for me. So whether it took 9 years or whatever, nobody could get to this point for me. I had to get to this point where I had tied up all my loose ends. Y'all better be ready for what's about to come, because I don't think y'all have any idea. So that's actually my high.
Get ready.
They're not ready.
J-Lou.
High low. A couple weeks ago, y'all was, when, I listened to the pod, y'all was talking about the low and your high being intertwined. And that really stood out to me when y'all was talking about it then. So that's what I'm kind of basing mine on. The low is realizing that I wasn't setting myself up for the success that I needed, being consistent and as I need to be in my schedule. So the low was kind of realizing that. The high is get my business plan together, get my schedule together to kind of make these next steps. So it's kind of like the low is understanding that you was behind, but the high is understanding you was behind. Kind of behind,
Facts.
So
Big
Facts. And I appreciate that, because I'm going through the same thing.
yeah.
So I feel you 1,000,000,000%. 1,000,000,000%. Like, off to no bullshit. I want to do our kickback fact of the week. Well, I guess we're doing this or that. We got so many new segments. You can get with that. You can get with this. Or you can get with that. You can get with tits. Or you can get with ass.
Hey, who's the black sheep? Okay.
I think so. We were stumbling across this or that, and we landed with a specific this is that for the ladies and a specific this is that for the fellas. So this is gonna be interesting. As always, ladies first, and I think we had made a joke going into something else, but it resonated here, and it was the old adage: it's not the size of the boat, it's the motion in the ocean.
And I said,
so ladies, when you right, so ladies, motion in the ocean or the size of the boat.
I'm gonna let Shannon take this first.
Oh, because I think we can just speak for each other. We can say it together.
Yeah.
It's size.
Size matters.
Now what if they don't know what to do with it?
That's even worse.
That's
like
even
you can't
worse.
have. So I would rather. Okay. first of all,
So if that's even worse, then what matters?
because listen, I would rather
If
have.
you got a big dick,
Will
but
you
can't
shut up?
fuck,
Will you shut up so we
Fine.
can explain it? Because I would rather have a guy with a smaller penis who can work the shit out of it than a big dick nigga who don't know what he's doing with it.
that was the question. That was literally the question. Is it motion in the ocean, meaning he knows how to fuck?
Can
but
I
he's-
elaborate? Because he just ran. You trying to Joe Budden me? You trying to all the time.
You said she ain't got no nipple. You said she ain't got no nipple.
But no, size does matter because like it can't just be like tiny, because then we not feeling the shit. You know what I'm saying?
What motion you
But
get.
but you also can't be ginormous and not know what to do with it. Like I think there's a happy medium there.
Yeah.
Because I've had big dick niggas who think they could just do whatever because they have a big dick, and I'm like, nah. Like you are totally a big dick nigga with a whack ass stroke, and that shit is lame to me. Like I've had lots of, I don't want to say lots, but I've had average sized niggas that sounded real thottish, but
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm not gonna pretend like I'm just.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not gonna pretend like I got low mileage. Okay.
None of us are angels.
I'm definitely not.
I'm an angel.
but no, I don't like a big old dick with no stroke. Like that is just not good to me. But I've had amazing sex with a guy who's not that big, and he was able to make me orgasm. So
So the question is, motion in the ocean
motion matters.
or the size?
Motion matters.
But
Motion
size
and
Does it
size
feel like
matters.
they're changing with their
No,
size?
no.
and
You
size
are speaking
matter.
of one of us because I'm gonna tell you this.
But they both matter, but size
They
matters
absolutely
more.
both matter, but you can't do anything with a small penis. Like if it's small, then you have nothing to work with.
I would
If
say
it's a
small
nice
is
size,
not
then
fun
you
to
don't-
give head to.
Like, ooh.
It's a waste of time.
It's like what? Like whose son are you?
And then
Anyway, it's
Jesus.
whose son are you? But at the same time, what I'm saying though, me personally, it's size that matters because I can work with a bigger penis that if they don't know how to do anything with it or if they not pros at it, as long as they're teachable, then we good. As long as I can teach you and you pick up quick. If you don't pick up quick, because you got to pick up within that first time that we do this.
And that's the thing, they don't pick up because they are
Yes, because I'm
accustomed
gonna be
to.
honest with you. I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, slow down. Wait a minute, do it like
Yes,
this. Hold
but
up.
they're
So let me
accustomed to having a
let me
big
take
dick.
over.
They
So-
think
so-
because they have a big dick that they could just have the big dick and
Yeah,
just
no.
a big dick nigga is equivalent to like a pretty ass bitch. Those queens and kings. A big dick king
Don't
and
be
a pretty ass
cancer. Don't be
queen.
cancer.
Right.
Because did you
Queen.
see me clutch my pearls?
Because you know the Pillow Princess thing? But
Yes.
she's gorgeous. She looks like she should be in a fucking movie.
No,
Like,
baby,
ain't
she's
nobody
not.
better than her on earth.
Let me tell
and
you
she can't
why.
fuck it all.
Let me tell you why the pillow princess is not gorgeous and the baddest person on the earth because she doesn't reciprocate. That shows you a lot about who she is as a person, and that is not
Selfish.
pretty. That is not
I
pretty.
mean the
Before
face.
you sex
Face.
is
Yeah,
the
you
one
see
that
the
hated
face.
her.
Right.
Makeup makes an ugly face, quote unquote, because every face is beautiful to somebody.
I'm with you.
But
Which-
makeup makes a ugly face look like a beautiful one.
It does. It definitely does.
Okay, so don't be settling for these pillow princesses when you could get you a gorgeous one who know how to do some
That's
makeup
all the things.
and definitely catches it from all angles.
Maybe I want always had this conversation like how would you feel about a 6 that's with the shits or an 8 that's not? And I'm like,
take the 6 with the
Yeah.
shit.
If she an
Yeah,
8,
damn right.
she definitely with the shits. Ain't no way she an 8. See, that's the thing that people gotta realize, that it's not just about the looks. It's not the number.
Right.
That
number
number
is not
inside
just about
matters,
the look.
but a lot of times when we discuss standards and we discuss these situations, it becomes look central.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the right
Yeah.
term? Central?
Yeah, it becomes that way.
Centralized, whatever that word is.
When you mature, it's different.
Yeah.
You start getting numbers for different stuff.
Right. I started looking at
Events,
how much do you make? What is your career like? What's your spiritual life like? Do you lick ass? I started asking those kind of questions. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
and
That's
you ain't gotta
definitely on
be.
this list of questions.
Right
It's
after,
definitely on my list.
right after the
It's on my
spiritual,
list.
right after the
Listen,
spiritual.
because you got to know what fulfills you. Look, when people ask questions like that, then you know they did the shadow work because they know what fulfills them. They be like, look, this is what I like. Do you do that? Because if not, we can may as well not waste no time. Speaking of what you like, let's get to the men's. This or that.
Okay.
You like good,
Jayden?
good,
Gay.
or
Well, let me explain what it is
oh,
first.
shit.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
so-
right good.
They like what it sound like that.
That possibly.
Rugae is literally the texture of the vagina.
The ridges.
The ridges. You can include the wetness in there as well. But it's the texture of the vagina versus the moves. This is how I say, if you have good pussy, you have one or two things, or both. You have the texture, wetness, like it's just like, I've had women who could lay there and I just slide in and I'm like, what the fuck? It feels like miniature midgets are pouring buckets of goo on my dick. They're just pouring shit on my dick and it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
So they're smaller than regular.
Because they got thin inside the vagina. It's like, it feel like,
So wait, you said it's
remember the TV
bridges.
show?
So
We
how-
are the littles. You remember that? Are you old enough to remember?
Wait, say that.
Nobody's old enough to remember this but me.
You know that I know. You know that I have to know.
Okay.
Even if I wasn't born in that era.
Right. We are the littles. It was like these people that were like the size of this coffee cup, and they lived in the house with the humans.
So there's a little person living inside somebody's vagina.
You see that?
I had thought that there were little people in someone's vagina, and they had buckets of glue, buckets of joy and love, and they were just pouring the buckets of love on my
On your
dick,
dick?
and
Of
they were caressing the undercarriage of it, like while they were in it. And I was like, who are the littles in your pussy massaging my dick? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I'm a little thinking. I'm dead about that. I can't lie.
And that's what do you call it? The
Rugae.
The Rugae.
Okay.
And then there are women who just got moves. I had a woman who just could ride like the Long Ranger and Tonto. Like she could do the white. Like, can you do that on the dick? Can you? Yeah, she
That's
could.
a cowgirl.
She could definitely do it on the dick. And especially when it's the reverse cowgirl, and then she doing the moves. All you see is ass, hole, and cheeks. And
Are
she
you
doing
reliving that moment right now?
Sorry, you know what? That's neither here
I
nor
think
there.
he is.
That's neither here nor there. Let's
Get
move on.
around.
So
that wasn't what I was looking for.
you sucking these things.
We gonna work on it. We gonna work on it.
Right. So ultimately, I think that I respect the fuck out of moves.
Out of emotion.
Out of emotion. I respect the fuck out of it. I don't even know anything else to say. It's impressive. It's inspiring. It's monumental. But there is something to be said for when you just slide in. I'm like, what the dog? Whoa! I'm out.
It's already dangerous without the
Like,
move.
hold up.
Yeah, I'm not.
Close your
Like,
eyes,
this
bro.
too much.
So tell me, what about have you ever experienced somebody with both?
Yes.
And like, is that more dangerous than anything in you?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, that's super dangerous.
You ever fuck somebody
Shannon,
and they just like start shivering and they got like goosebumps and
yes,
shit?
or like they keep banging
Yeah.
the floor, like the bed, or whatever.
That's such a kick out of
You
that.
start
Yeah.
ripping
It's
shit.
They
You
come
like,
on.
oh,
I love
Oh, yeah, we can get those
I
conversations.
had a shit say,
I'm getting the kick out of just watching your face. And I'm like,
whenever she got to like her third or fourth orgasm, she said, "You always do this to me." That's right. Look at my, I did this to you. It was me. I did this to you. Go for it. my legend.
He said, I'm the
Why are you
captain.
doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
Hey, I done told a couple. I'm not even saying.
Listen.
J. Lou, you answer the question. I'm not
I'm
even
gonna be
saying.
honest, I don't even think this was tough. To me, it's the Rouge, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like, one, can't do nothing. Like you just said, like you can just slide in and it's different. You know what I'm saying? You put yourself in that moment, so it's like that ain't, you ain't even doing nothing, and you get a feeling. Emotion, that's something between you and your partner y'all can work through. Like, you know what I'm saying, with the last question, like, look, certain things you can talk. Like, hey, look, man, do like this. You know, you can practice it. Practice can make perfection in certain aspects. And Rouge jump is a little bit different.
Yeah, you can't control that.
Shout out to Rouge.
I was born with that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the ladies.
It's different when you go up in there and it feel like a clean washboard.
Wow.
Oh, and shout out to the ladies who have practiced their Kegels enough to break them out on you mid-sex.
Yes.
You just fucking thinking that nigga's cool, and then she just grab your ass. Like, you know, it's like a choker stroke. Like when we choke a girl, when we fucking her.
What?
It's like choker stroke.
Don't make me
When they
get
just
the
choke
wrong
the dick, he like, let me go. Let me go. Like, what the
Hold up.
The one rap brand, you ain't doing
That part.
Like,
Listen,
hold up,
not
hold
every
up.
man know how to choke you the right way. Like,
Yes.
right?
because
just
niggas
before you
don't know
pass
how
out.
to choke you.
Yeah.
Because they'll hit you like right on the
Yeah, the wrong
voice box,
spot.
and you're like,
go
nigga,
right under it.
I'm tapping.
You get a little carried away.
Yeah, I
You
didn't.
gotta go right under it. You gotta,
I didn't create-
just knew how to choke me the
Yeah.
proper way. And that thing was like, oh, you gotta be my husband. I had to call Jesus and say, listen, this gotta be mine. You can't give it to nobody else. Please.
I didn't create the choke and stroke. I just perfected it. I'm gonna let y'all know. You can get the choke and stroke playlist on Apple Music. Just do a search for choke and stroke, and a lot of babies were made to this playlist. So
But our baby's
Not
not
this
this
Right,
baby.
right.
You don't have no babies.
now I don't you can't get a baby if you come in their mouth.
because they catch up from all angles.
Well, I mean, there is a thing that's breeding.
You have your Twinkies, you have your toaster strudels. That's the next this or that, but we're gonna save that for the next show.
Next episode.
Next show.
Next episode. So, for all of our intellectuals that have tuned in to hear about politics and pop culture, let's go there now. Because the freaks are like, what the fuck? So,
The freaks come out in the daytime. I don't know who told
The
y'all
freaks
to
come out during the day.
Actually, before we do the kickback fact of the week, I'm gonna throw this out there, and I just want you to let me know where you disagree or if you disagree. This doesn't have to be a long segment. I made a personal list on Facebook the other day of who I thought the top 5 rappers was alive that have released music in the last 24 months. So this is who's hot over the last 2 years, who's running the game. I got number 5, Benny the Butcher from Griselda.
I don't even know who that is.
Me either. I'm glad you said that.
Alright, well, Benny the Butcher, Griselda is
they're
a Buffalo, New York-based rap group label.
I feel like I heard about them on It's Ryan
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're gonna get to that too. But yes, but like we talked about them.
We talked about that.
I have at number 4, J. Cole, who we're gonna go into a deeper dive with this new album later on in the episode. But I got him at number 4 based on what he's done in the last 24 months. I got Drake at number 3 based on what he's done in the last 24 months.
Okay.
I got Nas at number 2 based on what he's done in the last 24 months. He won a Grammy this year.
Just based off of the Grammy, this is not based off of the music?
Well, the album was great too. It was an album with Hit Boy. And you know, our man can play with Nas is he gets whack beats.
Like J. Cole.
But he had Hit Boy make his beats. So Nas had an album full of great beats.
Okay.
And
Full
that,
of great beats, but see, here's the thing, you're giving somebody else's credit to him.
well, no, we're talking, well, are we?
That's what it sounds like.
Are
You're
we?
speaking of his
No.
great beats and not his great
Well, no, the lyrics were
or his-
phenomenal.
His
But,
flow.
okay, well, I'll do it this way. The lyrics to me are always top notch. The flow to me is mostly top notch. It's just beats. So you finally got beats to match with the subject matter, lyrics, and flow. And when your weak link is your beat, you got lyrics, you got subject matter, you got decent flow, but your beats are always trash. And then you have your beats almost as good as your lyrics, and then you got subject matter, and then you got flow, and then you win a Grammy. It's like, damn, nigga. Like,
Yeah, but
you did some shit. You know, this over the last 2 years. This ain't a lifetime achievement. This is just
Okay.
2 years.
Just over the past. Okay.
And they got Lil Baby as number one. I think Lil Baby runs the game right now.
Is that right?
I really do. The Baby used to be one of my
I was
favorites.
looking for him on that list of 5 because I think he puts a great amount of work.
I mean, and I'm gonna admit a flaw of mine, and I just realized just now. I'm taking Benny off. But I'm replacing him with somebody y'all don't think.
This sounds like the power move.
I'm replacing Benny with Megan Thee Stallion.
Ooh.
We gotta give Meg her credit.
I'm
We
here
gotta
for
give
that.
Meg her credit.
I am here for
The last
actually not
2 years?
replacing Benny with Megan, but replacing Benny with Nas and Nas with Megan.
See your list. You saying
Okay.
top 5 rappers alive. So you know what I'm saying, you ain't talking about straight. You talking about the best artists. You naming your best artists because rappers.
You're not lyricists.
You
You're not
all right,
lyricists.
all right.
the past, you said 24 months.
24 months.
Work
Who's been the biggest, most impactful,
Okay.
talented artist over the last 24 months?
Megan got us all doing the crybaby, and not the same crybaby that we know to do. You know, when we on the floor pounding. No, she didn't
We're on the
change
floor
the
pounding
crybaby.
like, you know, that's neither here nor there.
She changed the crybaby. Like, she definitely needs to be at number 2. Nas can be at number 5. I'm a Megan, you know, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a Megan
It
fan.
depends on how you look at it. See, I thought you was looking at like strictly rappers, like lyricists. So if you're not talking about that, I would probably take Nas off. And he in my top 5 of all time, but I'd probably put.
But he still won a Grammy. He still had a really impactful
Yeah,
album.
but
I mean,
I'm
yeah, when you
I
talk
wouldn't
about
care about
impact.
the awards though. Yeah, like
When
the
you talk
awards.
about impact, though, if he won a Grammy, then he has made an impact, which is why I say go ahead and knock him down to number 5, because he hasn't really made that big of an impact because he's not really reaching the people who are really important right now. The people who are really having their parents spend the money. It's the children
You disregarding your parents?
Well, no, not disregarding the parents, but think about it. The parents always got a way to kind of maneuver around actually spending the money to get what they want from the artist. The children, on the other hand, they don't have that same way. They go to the parents because they need the money. That's the only way that they can get it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Give the children something that they like to do. The crybaby. Megan's at number 2.
Any other changes I want to make to that?
I think the baby deserves to be up there, but because I'm not really like, you know, all the way into the analytics, I'm not really gonna put him up there. I think Drake deserves to be up there. He's been working hard since he got in this game.
Mm-hmm.
He has not taken a break, even when it looked like
He's
he was
been
taking a
Billboard's
break.
Artist of the Decade.
J. Cole, he deserves to be up there. He's been J. Cole since J. Cole was
Jermaine.
J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you did a good job. Yep, boom. Yeah, I hear about the little baby a lot.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with it based on
I'm sorry.
based on you know the criteria. So no, I wouldn't argue.
Okay. So our kickback fact of the week. Moving on. If you guys disagree, type it in the comments. Email Mel and tell her.
Mel.
Tell Mel. Don't tell me. I don't give a fuck what you
Actually,
say.
email us
Tell Mel.
apartmentkickback@gmail.com.
Right. Let her know you disagree. Don't tell me. I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I set the table.
Oh, so you don't.
I'm Nu Budden. I
I
don't
want
give
to
a
say,
fuck.
so you
Not
don't
me,
think
but-
respect is like you don't have to respect your friends?
No.
Yes, he
I don't have to respect my Facebook friends.
Okay.
Yes, he does.
I do?
He care about
Yes,
y'all low key. He
Low
just
key?
try to act like he don't. It's
Low.
like a turtle.
It ain't even low.
What are they in the
Hey.
shell? But they're
I keep
no,
it.
the
Well,
the care about them is definitely low. The care about them is low key.
It's a couple of y'all ladies though. But moving on.
Ashanti's not watching.
I'm Polly. So in moving on, I kick back to the week. If you listen very closely, hot water and cold water sound slightly different when being poured. The heat changes the thickness or viscosity of the water, which changes the pitch of the sound it makes when poured. What we feel is heat comes from the molecules of water moving faster. So cold water is thicker and therefore makes a slightly higher pitched sound. Who knew that?
That makes sense. I mean, I knew that they sound different because when you turn on just the cold wave, like the hot wave, like very different. As a singer, you would definitely notice the difference in the two sounds, but I didn't know that was why. So
Yeah.
I was today years old when I learned that's
When I cut the shower on, it's cold. It was like, when I piss on a girl, it be like, I'm like, oh, it's different.
But see, even that sounds different. And
Girl,
How do you know? You discuss me. How do you know this? You know what? Moving on. No, did you know this?
no.
Jayden, did you know that the water different?
I mean, I did, but I did.
I never really get the no.
That's why it's a random fact on me. It's just like, anybody ain't know this?
Is this hat?
Hey,
I see
what?
smoke.
listen, that hair sound big.
So this is the tricky part. My left stroke just went viral. Our viral story of the week: the Joe Budden podcast has imploded.
Nu and Mel.
Really. The one thing you're not gonna do is defamate my character. You're not gonna defamate.
Ooh.
Mel was wanted to be thottery. She was like,
I liked it.
She got straight to character. Don't play.
you're not gonna defamate my character.
You
In the
not
words
gonna
of Maul.
defamate my character.
In the words of Maul.
And he said it 7 times.
Yeah,
And it wasn't a word every time you said it. It was never a word.
Cause man ain't say nothing either. That's the he should have said.
I thought so. Okay, so I'm not going to feel it that way because I was like, why hasn't Rory corrected him on this? I'm so professional to sound effects.
You gotta relax. So as we've been watching, the Joe Budden podcast has been imploding. And if this does not bring me pleasure, Joe Budden has been one of my favorite rappers of all time. The Joe Budden podcast is my favorite podcast of all time. However, I'm looking at what's going on, and I gotta make some tough decisions. And what I'm seeing is, to really give you a real explanation of what kind of I'm going to say a fan, what kind of supporter I am. Black Cloud, Loose Quarter, All of Me Part 2, Revenge of the Titans, Moon Music 2, 3, and 4. These are songs and projects by Joe Budden that I love because he's one of my favorite rappers. Like Joe Budden did for me what Tupac did for me. When the world, Ordinary Love 1, 2, 3, 4. When the world was against me, when I was going through all my bullshit, I could go to Tupac music and be like, Pac with me. I could do the same thing with Joe Budden. So I'm not a Joe Budden hater. I'm a Joe Budden lover. That's my guy. I follow him through music, and damn near everybody says that. They see the connection, they see the comparison, they see the similarities. But this is where I'm gonna have to get off the train. Ooh. I don't do my niggas wrong.
You know,
Like,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
like I'm just cut from a different cloth. I was raised by the legends of Kennedy Street, J. Luke in the text. You know what I'm saying? We was raised by a different code. And I was taught how to honor your brother and not to snake your brother and be forthright and transparent and ride with your niggas. And that's just what I was taught. That's what I took pride in. That is what I boasted about. It's what made me feel like I was the realest nigga to ever live. Cause I'm gonna be so real with my niggas. Like, who realer than me? And I thought that was Joe too. And that's why I love him so much. But with new information, you have to come to new conclusions. And the new information I received, like, I don't care who tell it, but the truth will tell you when it's the truth. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
And the truth told me, like, Joe was on some bullshit. Now, was he evil, malicious, trying to rob his friends and shit on all his family? I'm not saying that. But he wasn't forthright. He ain't keep it a buck. He didn't honor real nigga agreements. Rory and Maul put out a video this week telling their side of the story. And everybody's like, well, it was Joe's podcast, it was Joe's movement, he paid you, you wanted to see the books, he ain't got to show you the books while y'all tripping. Rory and Maul said, no. We had a split, a percentage split, where, for example, Joe got 60%, Rory got 20, Maul got 20. And based on that split, after expenses. So based on that split, you get 60, you get 20, you get 20, for example. he wouldn't tell them what the money was. So they never knew what their split was supposed to be. If they were salaried employees, you get $50,000 per episode, then you just get your $50,000 and you go about your business.
Right.
But if you get a split of it, and then I tell you what the split is, I don't know how to know if I'm getting paid right. And then Joe said, you know what, this doesn't feel right. Y'all not making enough money. I'm gonna give my niggas a raise. I'm giving you more money. Great. Thank you.
That just feels like
That's
enough
love.
just to
However,
not have to justify.
what are we supposed to be getting? You're giving us more, but what are we supposed to get?
You're not giving us more than we're supposed to get. You're giving us what we're supposed to get.
Well, you're not giving me the information, so I don't even know if I'm getting what I'm supposed to get or if I'm not getting.
But let's just say more than likely, because if you're not giving me the information, it's a reason why.
Right.
If you were doing this with integrity from jump, then you would have automatically given
And
us
this is the
what you're
thing.
supposed to be getting. This is the percentage, and this is what the whole thing is. You can calculate things for yourself so that you can put it together for yourself.
This has been an ongoing problem for years. They've been asking for numbers for years, and Joe would never give him the hard, like the real accounting. He would always give them like a Excel spreadsheet, which anybody can plug numbers into.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they need to know the real deal, hardcore accounting. Like where are these expenses coming from? Because there were issues from accounting where Rory found some shit. There's like, hey, this shit don't add up.
$400,000 according to Rory disagreement. And
So
I'm
$500,000 down there, and that shit don't add up. Like what the fuck? Yeah.
And
Now I got questions. So now I need to know the numbers. I need the real fucking numbers.
And I don't want this to be the jump on Joe Budden bandwagon. Like I said, he's one of my favorite rappers, one of my favorite personalities. I am not here to shit on Joe. I am here to discuss what I have seen. And I was patient and waiting. I didn't respond last week or week before. I'm patient and waiting to hear Joe's side, Maul and Rory's side. And then I'm going to tell you what I think. But this isn't a fuck Joe Budden thing, because Joe my nigga. But I'm going to tell you, as my nigga, shit look fucked up.
I think
it's smut on your name, my G.
I think there's a combination of things going on here. I think ego plays into this. I also think that Joe has some mental health issues that need to be addressed. Because, and I know you have worked on yourself and we've talked about the amygdala, but I do think his amygdala is playing into this. Like,
quite possibly.
Him, when Rory would want to talk to him and have these conversations about what's going on, where's this money, like, we need to know the numbers, I do think his amygdala was like, danger, like, we have a problem. And so Joe, his reaction would be explosion.
It reminded me of hearing stories from women that are like, they saw that man at a mall with a girl, and like, I sleep at the mall yesterday. Oh my God, you're asking about the mall. And then your man get mad, and then now you can't have the conversation because he's so offended. And that's how Joe appears to have responded. What's up with the money? Oh, you're asking about money.
So I think it's
whenever somebody get mad, Shannon, whenever somebody get mad, we ask a question.
There's something going on there.
They're guilty.
And that's why ego plays into it too.
Around that ballpark, I truly feel like just to say that he has mental illness, that should not even be a thing, because this man been in. Let me say it shouldn't be an excuse for him at this point, because we've watched him go through counseling multiple times from multiple angles. We've watched this man go through counseling, so if you have not changed,
counseling, but he's still
exactly,
not
but if you haven't
accountable
changed
for his
at
actions.
this point, it's because you don't want to. And so at this point, yes, I am judging you. No, I'm not God, but I am judging you simply because you choose not to grow when you have every avenue to do so. At this point, you're not moving in integrity, and that's why you're so triggered when somebody asks you a question about what it is that's happening with the money.
Yeah, and you know what? I would jump in and say this because I was interested to see. I was eager to kind of hear what New said because I know Joe's boy. When I looked at it, I didn't follow the podcast. I didn't get into it like that. What I will say is this: in any relationship, I don't care if it's business, personal, whatever, transparency is key or whatever.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So when you're not transparent, you want to have an issue regardless. But then when I saw him, throw his little tip where he was kind of like, you fired. That was the point for me. I'm like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Even if we disagree and we ain't gonna work together no more, how you end it is how you felt about me the whole way. Like, so there's a certain way, there's a certain things you ain't gonna be able to say, you know what I'm saying, on the back end if you really mess with me like you said you did on the front end. So that was my whole issue with it. I don't know if he lying, I don't know who's telling the truth, but I know one thing: in any type of relationship, transparency and how we fall out is how you felt about me the whole way.
Let me play devil's advocate with that theory, because I've been in situations where the way that I reacted was not how I felt the whole way. But at this point, I see how you've been the whole way, so now I have to move differently.
Yeah, that's
so
what
I do see like situations like that, but with the way that it seems like he moved, it was just in a way to still try to cover his ass. Like he didn't want to be exposed in the moment where he was about to be exposed. He did not see that coming, so he was trying to cover his behind and do damage control. But at that point, the damage was done.
He was on something, I'm going to keep total control of this shit. And
Exactly.
so I'm going to keep putting this off. As long as I pay them, maybe they won't have any more questions. And then me and his boys, they kept going with this shit. Like, all right.
He also went with like, now I'm going to put you guys on salary.
Yeah,
I know.
put some
They
bullshit.
don't
Like,
understand
they
the basic
should never-
synergies.
Right.
You
no.
say that, I'm like, hold on.
And Roy was like,
Right, and then the boss,
Like, I
and
was
then
never
you tell them all, mind your business when it comes to the podcast.
yeah, this
And
ain't
see,
your business.
This
now
is
when
our
it comes
business.
to those
Saying little
things,
stuff like that.
then I'm absolutely with you when it says the way
Yeah, that's
that
what-
you
yeah, that's
in
what I
this or
think,
the way that you react in all of this tells me how you felt about me the whole time.
Yeah.
Because all this time you've been looking like you're our boss and we're your peasants.
Because the whole time
And
Joe
that's the
Budden
problem.
thinks that the podcast is built off of Joe Budden's name. And while that does play a factor into like the podcast having some sort of notoriety, it wasn't just him that made the podcast what the podcast was.
Exactly.
Because Rory and Maul definitely contributed to building that
It was
fan
their
base.
chemistry. It was their chemistry.
It was them two that really took the show off. That really got the show on another level.
Right.
They took it to a whole other
Because Joe,
trajectory.
Yeah.
Joe was on, like, I'll take it back to this. When he was on Twitter at first, his name was Mouse Budden. Mouse is his childhood nickname. And then he switched it to Joe Budden, and his followers went up by like 400,000. Like, oh shit, I didn't know. So he had the same bright idea. This podcast was named, I'll name this podcast later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if I change it to the Joe Budden podcast? And then the numbers went up again.
Yeah.
But it was a coincidence because that's what Maul got did. He did that.
Yeah.
And Maul was like the relatable one. Joe, the corny dude. Corny, light skinned dude. He can get some girls or whatever, but he can't dress. He ain't cool. He ain't hip. Rory, the white boy, like, how cool can he really be? And then Maul is the little brother of Biggs who started Rockefeller.
So you think
Budden is like,
Yes, I do. I think the Rockets cannot be cool. Yes.
Okay.
Budden is
They
like
can't
in
be,
the
but
crew.
so cool.
In the crew, you need somebody
Wait,
to get
what
you
was
in
you
the
from?
door. You need somebody
Yeah,
to
but
keep
that
you in
doesn't
the
mean
door.
they're not cool.
Boom.
I hang out with
Boom.
mostly black people. That doesn't mean that I don't think that white men are attractive or I haven't been
I
attracted
say
to
true.
white men.
I say cool. I say cool.
I haven't think.
I say cool.
I- I'm not saying that they're not cool.
You're
I
not
think there are
saying
some
they
very
are.
cool white guys. That doesn't mean that just because I haven't fucked them doesn't mean that they're not
They're
cool.
cool as a black guy.
Yes, they're
They're
just
cool.
cool ass people.
A white cool guy is as cool as a black cool guy.
There's some white guys out here with some really nice swag.
No. Let me just say no. I'm gonna say no.
That's on
I,
you.
I like some.
I prefer
I
black
think
guys.
that the.
But that's not to
coolness
say
is
that
different.
white guys don't have a level of cool.
I didn't say they have no
No,
cool.
they
so
have-
can't
they-
be
They
cool
can't
niggas.
be as cool.
No,
I'm saying
I
that.
can't
I'm
agree
saying
with
that.
Okay, well I'm disagreeing with you.
I can't agree
That's
with
cool.
that either. Because you do have some really cool white guys.
I
think there's
agree.
nothing about that.
I agree, but they're not gonna be as cool
But
as
I don't know how.
an average cool white guy isn't as cool as an average cool black guy.
I personally don't know how we got on this portion, but what I'm going to do is go back to my original thought, which was you need somebody to get you in, and I'm going to bring y'all point in to this point, right? Watch this. You need somebody to get you in the door, you need somebody to keep you in the door. A cool black man will get you in the door. A cool white one will keep you in the door. Because they're not just cool, but their level of cool is kind of like smart. So like the cooler white guys are the nerdy ones who probably like ride skateboards or they always meditating or some crazy stuff like that because they can take a computer apart. And while we have black men who can absolutely take a computer apart and quicker than a cool white man and they can run faster than a cool white man, there are certain things and certain perceptions that they do not have like a cool white man. So that's why they can get us in the door, but then you have the cool white man who can keep us in the door. So it's a team effort. Nobody is really better than the other. They do have different, it's two different categories though. You cannot compare the two. You understand what I'm saying?
Which
You feel me?
I mean,
I do agree that one is not cool
why
to
do
be
you have a certain limitation? They don't have 6 houses and bunch of black men got 7 houses.
But see, that's comparison. Comparison kills. That's my point is you can't compare them because one is east and one is west.
I ain't never gonna agree the white person to do
I would
that.
say this. I would
Black
say this.
person
My
can do
2 points on it. And like I said, when I spoke to the trans person, and me and you, we did business together with certain stuff. And you know what I did? I forwarded you what I got from the people. You know why? So you can see what I see. I know you mess with me. I know you trust me. But you know what? Trust without verification is an issue. So yeah,
that's a bar.
Yeah,
that's a bar. Hold on, say that again. Say that again.
Trust without verification, trust but verify with everything. So that's one thing. And two, something that my pops told me about for all the fellas out there. Men only fall out over two things: woman and money. Make sure that's straight, and you be straight.
And we can't say the same for women. That's
Y'all fall over head dudes and shit.
Listen, stuff be going bad.
I know.
It's a cold one.
We
We
need to end the friendship.
But yeah, like I just feel like Joe just the guy to get in the door. He got the connections, and then he got to give his you can't. If your dreams are big, then you cannot run them. You can't get there by yourself, and you got to give the people who go with you credit. Like you have to be willing to share. That selfish shit that wanting to be the boss and I'm this and I'm that. When really, nigga, most of the people who watch you, they watch you to see where you're gonna fuck up today because you stay fucking up.
That's real, and I love Joe, and I don't want this to come off. I'm not one of the niggas jumping on a bandwagon dissing Joe to get some extra likes. That ain't what I'm doing. I fuck with Joe. I just think Joe wrong. He's just wrong in this situation, in my opinion. But I'm not the Joe. Fuck you, Joe. I'm not gonna do the reaction video. Fuck you, Joe. My nigga.
We need people.
I just think he's wrong in this situation, and we do. But like Shannon, with GOV, I don't think that I ever put myself above everybody. Like we was cool. Mm-hmm. We did the events and we had our shows and we did our songs and everybody just. I didn't go. Well, this is my thing.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm like, Joe. We not. I used to say Joe Budden was my spirit animal. I gotta take that back now.
Yeah,
that's some man shit.
Yeah, he. I mean, when you really don't know him personally, then it be some stuff that you miss. But at the same time, if we have a baby together, you can't treat me like I'm not the parent too. You understand? Right. Especially if we both raising it together, as soon as you treat me like I'm not the parent, I'm gonna stop being the parent. Stop
even if you tell me it ain't my baby, but we together, and you want me to be the stepfather, and then when they get to high school, you don't tell my kid what to do.
Yeah, no, not when I help you raise this kid.
I was here from
exactly.
They were 3 years old.
And that's not cool. So this is your baby too. You understand?
Right. That's why you shouldn't take her out of. Never mind. Moving on. I had a moment. But
so can we move on to the next battle?
Yeah, let's move on because I want to talk about Shannon's best friend, Porsha Williams.
And that is my best friend. Like, how did you know? Because I love me some Porsha, but I could not wait to get to this because the bitch will never, the woman, the queen, I'm sorry, because I do love her, but she will never meet my man.
Well, break down why. What was going on with Porsha Williams and the Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Yeah,
Atlanta.
So let me just say this. So let me say the key, honestly, from my perspective, because I don't know all angles, because of course I've heard that they put out things to say, Fallon and Porsha were not friends and it was all for the show, but no. Honk, okay? Because this lady just literally, and when I say this lady, I'm speaking of Fallon. First of all, when she was introduced to the show, she was introduced as Porsha's friend, if I remember correctly. Porsha is the one who took her friends to Fallon in her husband's house when Fallon was introduced to the show. So if it's going to be for the show, then you committed yourself to this show. So you have to move in a way that's best in integrity for your character on this show. Like, that's what a lot of these women have to understand. When you commit to reality TV, then you make what's on TV your reality. If that lady was introduced to us as your friend, then you can't turn around 2 months after she just announced her divorce with this man, which is not even fully final. And now you're announcing that you're engaged to him. You introduced us, your favorite people, or the people who consider you their favorite person, and to him. But like, why?
All I saw was the memes. So I don't really know nothing about it because I don't watch it. So I'm gonna let Mel go ahead and take care of this.
Yeah.
I ain't watched no Housewives. I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and take care.
I would just say because I haven't watched Real Housewives of Atlanta in probably like a good 4 or 5 years. But I do remember when Porsha first came on the show as Cordell Stewart's wife, and to me, she is just a shallow individual. So I feel like this is just kind of like a relationship of convenience because this will now be her third marriage. So she was
I
married
think it's
to.
her second.
No.
Because then she married her
didn't
baby
get
daddy?
No,
Oh,
she didn't marry him. They were
Okay.
engaged, but see, here's the thing. I think that when she moves in love, it's more like a business move to her.
And that's why I say she's shallow because she does things that I think she's an opportunist.
Mm-hmm.
I think she does things that she dates people that will elevate her social status. So her being married to Cordell Stewart put her in a social
like in the spotlight.
And yeah.
Can I say?
And the light because now that allowed her to be on the platform of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Right. So that she was there as his wife. They had their issues. She moved on, started dating other people. Then she got with her baby daddy, whatever. They were engaged. That didn't work out. Now she's on to the next dude who is Nigerian, and people calling him the Nigerian scammer.
Hey, Kristen said Porsha will be with a gay man, an abuser, a married man, a separated man, a foreign man, or Candy and her man, whatever should not be seen.
Yeah, stuff. Here's the thing.
Wow.
But you know what? I think she has her moments in that. Now, let me say, when she started off, she was shallow, but I don't think that she got with that first husband of hers.
Cordell?
Yes, I don't think she got with Cordell to get on the platform. I think that kind of for her. I'm gonna tell you something a little bit about something. The reason that I think about that, I'm not gonna say that on the show, but I will tell you after the show why I think that she didn't get into it knowing what she was about to get herself into. There are things that she did expect to come from that marriage benefits, but she didn't expect it to put her on the platform.
That was the gay man that the girl was just talking about.
Oh,
Porsha will be with a gay man.
That's
Cordell is definitely.
But I truly think that she has. I truly think that she has been lacking in love.
He a Pittsburgh.
She's been lacking in love in other places. Some women are the type of women too.
This is the same woman who asked where the fucking conductor was for the Underground Railroad.
No, please don't remind me. But what I'm saying,
like she's that fucking dumb.
What I want to say though is that people change. I feel like when she got on this platform, she wasn't ready for what took her by storm, and that's why she said that when she first got on this platform. That's why she was speaking so ignorantly, because she did not know what was coming. A woman who planned for this to come would have been ready, baby. She would have came with everything, all of her ducks in a row, because she know people are watching her. Porsha wasn't ready.
I think she thought she knew what to expect, but then got way more than she anticipated.
You know
because she's not that smart.
If you said something if you said that about the Underground Railroad,
she's not that smart.
She did not prepare.
That's what I'm saying. I think she had an idea of what to expect, and then she got on and shit happened, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm way too dumb for this. So let me just try to like elevate myself. Yeah, let me try to make it seem like I'm smarter than I am, but I'm really not that smart." Because like she be making dumb moves, bruh. Like
and
you would think by now, Porsha's like 40. You gotta move better.
But see, at this point,
Porsha's like a year older than me.
I truly feel like with Porsha, the way that she's moving now,
if I'm saying you
stop.
So
don't play around like that in front of me.
Don't do that.
You're not about that.
I'm a teddy bear. Teddy bear.
Yeah, I got some teddy bear.
Yeah, Papa's that.
Some teddy bears. They're sneaky teddy bears. But what I'm saying is, I truly think that she wasn't ready for it. We have a comment here that says when she first came in on the show, she was totally different than she is now because she was not ready for it. That's not what she came in for. When she got there and everything went the way that it went, she was like, you know what? I was caught off guard the first time that I got there.
That's what I'm saying. I think she had an idea.
So she was like, at this point, every man that I be with from this point forward, he needs to be propelling me forward.
There's no difference between her and Kenya at this point.
No,
there's no difference between the two of them.
I got a question.
Totally
I got a question for y'all. Would you date a man? Well, let me ask this question because I don't know their dynamic. Is the guy that she's engaged to? Does the girl that he was formerly married to? Are they still in love? Is she still in love? Is this like a painful thing for her?
No, I mean they were already getting divorced allegedly before the two of them got together.
So they're separating, they're divorcing, it's over. The girl, how does the girl feel?
She's not sharing how she feels, but here's the thing.
How do y'all
Let's
think based
be
on what you know?
realistic.
I think she feels betrayed.
Realistically, you absolutely feel betrayed because,
Yeah.
baby, I came into this as your friend.
You supposed to be my
everything
friend.
that you watched me experience as this man's wife, you're about to reap
Mm-hmm.
as this man's wife. You
Porsha will do
infiltrated,
anything
you
to keep
invaded
herself
my
relevant.
whole situation, and you can't convince me me, a whole woman, that she's about to marry a man that she just started dating in January when they started processing this divorce.
I think
no, baby, Porsha threw that ass in the
stay
circle.
relevant.
Porsha threw that ass in the circle for that man before he decided to get a divorce from Fallon, and he was like, "Oh wait, Fallon ain't got all this type of ass."
There were whole seasons
Porsha
where
got
Porsha
ass?
didn't
What?
have a peach.
Porsha
got ass.
has a peach
Oh,
tree.
well, I absolve Porsha of all crimes. She got ass.
Porsha's body is amazing. Porsha is beautiful.
Show me a picture of
I
Porsha.
will not lie to
I
you.
think Porsha's
Porsha
absolutely
is
beautiful, and I
gorgeous.
still love her.
But she
here's
is
what I
dumb
think.
as a fucking rock.
Oh,
You know
think
what's
she's
funny?
40?
Yeah.
You know
With a
what's
body?
funny? My uncle, I was just talking to my uncle, and you know what he said at the table? We was at brunch, and he said he seen this meme and it was hilarious to him, and it said Alicia Keys crawled so that Porsha Williams could walk. Baby, is that serious?
Well, look, at least
I would
looking for love. She
put
just
my
doesn't
tongue in
want-
her butt.
you know what?
She doesn't know how to go about it.
Let's be a
Oh,
little.
shit.
Let's be a little. Let's be a
So
little.
she didn't give her that. Exactly, godmother. Exactly,
That's a
godmother.
recent picture from the shit.
But that's the couple.
dude.
That's the little dude.
Let me be a little.
Show me right.
So let me be a little controversial with it.
Okay.
Because y'all had this conversation with the Kevin Samuel dude a couple weeks back, right? I don't think it matters because I think the first wife and Porsha got with dude for a certain reason, right? So I'm like, you know what you get when you get with that. Like,
Right.
don't tell me y'all got together for love and attraction and it was magical. It wasn't that.
She would do whatever to keep
So
herself
whatever,
relevant.
so whatever comes with it, it comes with it.
Like you
So
was
like
saying,
that's why we sit back and be like, hey, you know, it is what it is. You
yeah,
know, like
even not
it'll
go
last a
like,
little
she's
while.
looking for love.
Yeah, it'll last a little while, and then
And then on to the next.
I definitely put my tongue in her butt. Like Porsha, bad.
Yeah,
I
she
wasn't
is
paying
bad.
a whole lot of attention
Especially
to
with
her.
the short cut.
I just knew the story,
bad.
but like, oh, she can get that.
And she even bad.
And the
That's that
bangs,
civil rights
and
snap.
the
Yeah.
things.
That's that civil rights
That's
snap.
like her body.
You think Ashanti something? You ain't saying nothing. That's a real
Whoa,
Georgia
don't
peach, baby.
respect the queen.
Oh, I respect
Respect
the
the
queen.
queen.
Y'all see this?
Porsha's body is way better than Ashanti.
Whoa, you
That
gotta
part.
relax.
You gotta relax. Cause
She probably sing like Ashanti too.
Whoa.
real
You gotta
recognize real.
Respect the queen.
Porsha's body
ladies.
is way better than
Okay,
Ashanti.
so moving on to our next
Y'all
topic.
leave Nu alone.
I'm just
Thank
saying.
you.
Let me get
My
see.
man, my
I
man.
break all that shit. Let me break all this shit over.
Y'all ain't gonna be bullying them.
My man.
It's
That's
like
why we
that.
got 2 men
Fuck that all that
this week.
shit. It's
2
okay.
men.
Y'all
You
ain't
have
gonna
2
bully
women.
So moving on, our what the fuck story of the week, and we gotta shift the temperature because this is a horrible story, and we're having a great time. It's our first episode together, but we gotta get serious. We all know the tragedy when the rapper Pop Smoke was murdered in L.A. We followed some more details. There was a 15-year-old boy who decided he wanted to watch.
How petty is that?
So he showed up to the house. Pop Smoke, of course, video chatted some items he bought. Unfortunately, those items showed his address. A 15-year-old boy, amongst others, showed up at the house, tried to rob him. Pop Smoke tried to fight back, and then realized he was outgunned, tried to run away, and the 15-year-old boy shot him.
And he deserves to go to prison for the rest of his life.
Of his life.
At 15, you're old enough to, you know better. You
Yeah.
fucking know better.
Yeah.
I would say this. Let me, as a black man, you know what I'm saying? Me and you know, y'all know where we from. You know what I'm saying? You from the people more early. You know what it is. Just hit a little different.
Yeah.
Because both of their lives gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's, you know what I'm saying? That's one thing. You know, we got nephews. You know, so we come up, you know, you came up a certain way. In our community, we got to stop valuing certain shit.
That part.
Cause that's what it ends up being. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, man, I got nephews, you know what I'm saying? I got little cousins. We just gotta stop valuing certain stuff. And certain stuff gotta stop being cool. Cause right now, you got somebody that ain't gonna have a father, ain't gonna have a son, ain't gonna have a brother. Like, it's just like we just gotta stop valuing certain things. You know what I'm saying? In our community, for a watch. And the thing, and it's the culture for it.
His parents failed him too.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I
all
was
of it.
thinking.
Yeah, it's not. It's the currents.
I want to jump out there and say, sometimes you do your best to raise your child, and it gets into the neighborhood, it gets into the school. He's at school 8 hours a day, in the neighborhood 2-3 hours a day. He's with you the rest of the time. I know some people with great parents, but they were trash ass niggas.
Here's something for you. When it comes to great parenting, it depends. I mean, it has more to do with what is best for them as opposed to what is best for you. So a lot of people are great parents. It's easy for them to be there through everything. It's easy for them to be supportive. But do you really pay attention to what your child needs? Do you really teach them the way that they can be taught? Do you give them lessons in a way that they can comprehend it? Because a lot of parents can't tell you when something is wrong with their child, even though they're kicking out all the money for their child to do things that they're not even really interested in doing. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. When you are here for your child as opposed to for yourself, then you pay attention to when your child's actions and things change. Mm-hmm. Even the things that you don't know about them, the things that's happening on the outside of the door. And when you teach your child morals and values that a watch is not worth a life, that is something that school, those ill-intended friends, those jealous friends, the ones who teach you how to smoke weed, how to roll it up, all that, can't none of that penetrate the lessons that the parents, the people who are in your life every day, even the times when you are most vulnerable, the lessons that they really put in there, can't nothing penetrate that. You put a moral in your children. A life in a watch. You have a life, you have a watch. When you really pour into your children and really give them morals and values that mean something of longevity, it's the difference between music today and timeless music. Music like Bruno Mars is making, that music, those lessons are going to actually work. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Those are those type of lessons. But when you are actually doing something in a way that is not touching the root, it's not gonna. You can tell me all day, a watch is not worth a life. But if I'm already 15 and it's the first time I'm hearing you say this, then I don't believe you.
I'm gonna push back on you with this because I was raised, for the most part, the proper way. My mother had 2-3 jobs, couldn't be there. I was left to my niggas, and whatever, their lessons were going to weigh more. I moved in with my aunt, who was there all the time. And so I had those 2 different experiences, but it was no way my aunt could influence me more than my niggas could. It just wasn't possible. And I was with them. I was outside with them. She couldn't. Now, I will say this, her influence did temper a lot of my decisions.
That's good.
It did. Mm-hmm. But I done some foul shit.
But let me tell you why I think, and you know, this we got like connected on this on the earlier side. You had another side though that you could see. You like the 5, like when you said with your partners, they was different. Mm-hmm. With me, pops, you know what I'm saying, I went to different schools. Like when you have choices, it's a little different. Mm-hmm. When you have no choice and you stuck in, you stuck in a certain little area, and then you got the culture, then you got the Instagram, then you got the rap music, then you got you got these people defining what's real and what's not. That's when it kind of it's clouded, and like we expecting young dudes to be able to decipher it. Like these grown people can't decipher it. Niggas go to war like when like people screaming about what stuff you come back from war with, like, they're saying that, coming up. I'm like, man, they go crazy when they come back from war. What about the 13-year-olds that seen it on the youngster? I'm like, he was 25, 30 when he saw it, and he can't get over it. And you want a 12 or 13-year-old nigga be able to decipher it, make an informed decision. So that's why it got to start with the entire culture. But I think what help you. You know what I'm saying? Your background, tough, and where you come from is tough, but being able to have those 4 or 5, dudes, we told you how cool y'all was and how complete opposite was. You had contrast. You was like, I go this way? No, man, I got these niggas.
Right. Like I saw death and destruction, like in my building. I used to open my door to go to school in the morning, and a crackhead would fall into my apartment because he was sleeping on my door. Like, that was my reality. Like so it's like, I have a thing of survivor's remorse because I did have the fight. So I did know survivor's guilt. So I did know it was more. But what about dudes that lived 3 buildings over that didn't know that F had an elevator in his house? What about the dude that lived 5 buildings over that didn't know there was a children's theater program at Howard?
That's when you.
What about them?
You gotta kind of, I mean, can you really save everybody? No.
Well, no, but can you blame everybody? Is
Why
my
are you
question.
blaming? What solution does blaming give you?
But
See, this
that's what I'm
is
saying.
actually what you guys have been speaking of, in my opinion, actually proved Mel's point when she said his parents failed him. Because it proves that more than anything, your money does not matter. But quality time, however, does. That's the way that you program the mind. That's the way that you give.
But I don't know, because money got me into those other places.
Money got you into those other places, but the places where you are fully comfortable to be vulnerable and truly trust and know that there was loyalty there was with your boys. Why? Because they was with you shooting in the gym. It's the quality time that made.
But it's a little bit different because my aunt put me in positions to meet them guys. They weren't in my neighborhood. I was in Mayfair. I was in the worst neighborhood in the history of DC. I was in the worst neighborhood in the history of the city.
Either way, guess what?
But my aunt was like, I love my nephew. I'm gonna try to get him into something else. And
So
she
your
took me
aunt was
different
able
places.
able to put you, because she had access to money and stuff, to put you in a position where you could have access to better people who would influence you, versus people who don't have those means. It is on their parents to provide that influence, to be that role model, to be that influence in their lives.
Y'all are right. You proved your point. It's on the parents to bring that.
That's what I'm about to
But
say.
the only thing I'm gonna tweak over that is we can't forget systemic racism exists.
Mm-hmm.
We can't forget that opportunities are limited to certain people.
Right.
And even though it's on the parents, because do the impossible, nigga. Do the fucking impossible for your child. We gotta remember, these opportunities weren't available to everybody.
Man, let me tell you, my mother came up from the gutter. Do you
Lord,
understand?
your mother's a special
Yeah, my mother
case.
is definitely a special case. But guess what? We are all human beings, and just like she had opportunities that she had to take, by the
There are
horns and
sacrifices
really,
that have to be
you
made.
know, you gotta want it bad enough to really take the make the sacrifices in
You
order
gotta
to get.
know
You cannot.
that you want it bad enough.
You have
There-
to want it bad enough. That's what
You gotta
mean.
know
If you want it
that
bad
it's
enough,
something
then you know
to
you
want.
want it bad enough.
You gotta know it's something to want. There was a point where my biggest goal in the world was to get a building, an apartment in a building right there where my niggas was there because it was closer to them, and that was my biggest goal in the world.
But guess
I didn't
what?
know there was a bigger goal to have.
But once you got that goal done, then what did you do?
Well, no. I realized there was a bigger goal before I got. I realized there was a bigger
You
goal
never
at
went
12.
Oh,
I
well,
was like, oh shit.
you left that.
Fuck living there. I want to live there. and then you realize, like, your mind is like breaking the shell. Your mind tells you your biggest goal shouldn't be to get a girl with a big butt. Maybe a girl with a big butt, a pretty face that loves you and want to raise your kids. But if you don't get hit with the jolt that tells you there's more to life than just the ass, then you're stuck with there's nothing more to life than just the ass. And what I've always struggled with, what I call survivor's guilt, survivor's remorse, is I was hit with that jolt. What about my boys that weren't? And their number one goal, I'm gonna sell a little weed, I'm gonna sell a little crack, I'm gonna make a little money, I'm gonna get my little outfit, I'm gonna fuck a couple bad bitches, I'm gonna live right here in this hood ass ghetto apartment, and I wanna get a brand new sofa. Is gonna be the thing that makes this from a hood apartment to a
And
mansion.
your parents feel it because as a parent, you're supposed to want your kids to look better than you.
To dream big.
Yes.
Exactly.
To do
But you can put that in your kid. You should want more. Like I believe that I know parents who put good shit in their kid, but their kids were just attracted to the street. Like niggas tell me all the time, dog. I know niggas who grew up middle class. I didn't grow up middle
like
class.
Joe Budden?
I know niggas who didn't grow up middle class. Who grew up middle class, that I would have cut my left arm off to live like they lived, but they didn't know it. It's funny, they just on some hood shit.
But
It's
you know
like, why do you want hood shit?
I know why I
The
didn't know
culture,
it.
what we
Man.
value, the culture
It's
makes
not
it
right
just
now.
that. There was void.
not all of
That was a
Some.
void. That was something that their
Those are-
parents were not acknowledging. They were looking for something elsewhere. It always stems back to the same lady who pushed them out their coochie. And I'm just saying, Mom, don't be dumb. Which takes us to Elise.
Elise Stephanie.
Yes, because guess what?
I don't call
Raising
her Stephanie.
children?
All respect to her.
Raising children is definitely politics.
Boom. I see you, Shane. I see you over there. Segue.
Politics.
We've been on that for a minute.
Elise, but I think it was a good. I think it was good though. I think it was a good. That's what I'm saying.
That's because
Hey,
Elise would be a bad parent.
Elise,
would raise a
absolutely.
15-year-old
Absolutely.
Republican Party is bad
Elise-
parents.
Elise was the Stefaniks. She's been moved to the third highest position in the Republican Party, but replacing Liz Cheney. Because she initially started off against Trump. I don't like this. I don't like that. She was more conventional, and then all of a sudden
She became a Trump dick
she
rider.
became. Well, Mel, you tell the story.
Can I just say, let me just
You
say
gotta
this
sit
real
up. You gotta
quick.
sit
I
up.
know.
You gotta sit up.
I got you.
You said dick rider, and I just want to say, when you try a dick and you find out that it's better than you thought it was, sometimes you get
Well,
dick
no,
massage.
because
Maybe she's dick massage.
according to
All right, this podcast is going down a dangerous path.
For Stephanie Clifford, like the dick is not where it's at. So Stormy Daniels was like, "This shit is trash." But no, the Republican Party has totally aligned themselves with Donald Trump. They have made him. I mean, as y'all know, he's been the leader of the Republican Party for like the last 4.5 years. He's like their Lord and Savior now. And Elise Stefaniks, she definitely was not one of those people who was a Trump dick rider. She was very anti-Trump in the beginning. And then now all of a sudden, because they've seen the direction that the party has gone in, now she's a Trump dick rider. And like, she wasn't, like, when you look at how her versus Liz Cheney have voted on legislation that was like being pushed by the Trump administration, Liz Cheney had more votes that aligned with the Trump agenda. Because Elise Stefaniks, I'm sorry, I keep like leaning on your knee, but like it's just perfectly placed right here. But now she's become very vocal in the like last year or so, being a Trump dick rider. And so the Republican Party has kind of like aligned themselves behind her and Kevin McCarthy, and gone against Liz Cheney's. Liz Cheney is like, yo, we need to go back to facts because the election was not stolen by Joe Budden. Like, it was a very fair election. Let's go back to the party that was like based in facts and like dealt with like, you know, the Republicans are big spenders. We know this, but you know what I'm saying, like they weren't crazy before.
Right.
But all this shit trickles back down to John Boehner and the fucking Tea Party people. Like all this shit circles back to them because that's when the Republican Party started really going crazy when Barack Obama came into office and all this other shit. So then so now we're at this point where we have a bunch of crazy people. We have the Josh Hawleys, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Matt Gateses. You know what I'm saying? All these people are Trump supporters who have pushed and supported the narrative of the election being stolen, and just making it seem like Donald Trump was just the greatest thing since God. You know what I'm saying?
Since me.
No, but he tried. But no, so recently, and like this week, the Republicans removed Liz Cheney from her positions that she was like in charge of in the House.
Yeah.
All the committees and stuff that she was on, and she's been replaced by Elise Stefaniks, which is absolutely absurd because Elise Stefaniks was totally anti-Trump, and now she's a total Trump dick rider.
We don't even know who this queen is.
Of the way the party has turned. So
I'll use
it's the Kevin McCarthy's in the world, the Matt Gaetzes, the fucking Josh Hawleys, the Ted Cruz's, like all the people.
The Joe Budden.
Mitch McConnell.
He's the worst.
Right.
Here's the thing.
He's the worst.
He came out and said it was a fair election. He said it was a fair election. But now he toes the line. He's like, that was a fair election, but you know, there's still, you know, widespread.
Jive.
It's so funny though.
Voter fraud.
Cause like
No, there isn't.
I mean, it's so bad. It's funny. Like
It's sad. It's what the fuck
It's
it is.
pathetic.
For Cheney to be seen as as way out.
You know, we did
How-
not
how
like
crazy
it.
is
Hey,
that?
how crazy? See, that's the ironic part. Me and Nu, I know Nu was more, you know what I'm saying, like, a certain way politically. I would love to be independent, but with Republicans, like they don't give me nothing to vote for. It's like y'all really don't care
At all.
Like it's like
No.
the way y'all. I'm like.
They threw caution to the wind, and they're just like, fuck it, we riding this way.
I'm like, look, I would love to be able to vote independent like I want to, but I'm like, with what y'all put up, I can't. I have to vote with the Democrats strictly because of what y'all put out.
Because the Republicans have totally aligned themselves with racism.
And they're okay with it.
That's the ugly truth. That's the ugly truth. I don't trust no white people. Democrat, Republican, Independent, Harry,
So that's
homeless.
so that's where the cool white boy comment came from.
Okay, I see where the
See,
passion behind it
see,
came
now
from.
you see where the passion from the cool white boy came from.
Yeah, let me just say, I think that there are some cool ones though. I just can't date them.
I mean, I got white people in my there's white
There are
people in my
definitely white
family.
people.
Yeah,
I
there are a lot of
have white blood relatives. Blood
Me too.
relatives. But I don't trust their ancestors.
Because let me tell you, listen, my brother-in-law best friend, he's one of the coolest white
They
people I
be
know.
doing shit.
And I fuck with him.
You know what I'm saying? You fucked them.
Fuck with him.
Oh, I nobody heard. Okay.
Let's not start that rumor.
Moving
There's
right
nothing
along.
wrong. That's how rumors get started.
A game or two, but the telephone.
Nah, that's the
Nipsey
homie.
Hussle.
That's another brother to me. So that's why I'm like, I can't rock with the not like white dudes not being cool as black dudes. Like, nah.
White dudes are not as cool as black dudes.
That's your opinion.
It's
That's your
it's
opinion.
science.
It's your opinion.
It's
That's
science.
your opinion.
Look,
I've
as
met
a black man in America, I'll speak up for Nu. We've been bamboozled and gotten so much from the white man. It's a little tough for us to kind of come over. So Nu it's just taking a little.
Let me
longer
just
to
say
get out.
this, as a black woman who has dealt with black men from a totally different perspective, you guys always want to blame somebody else for what's lacking. And no,
okay.
that's what we're not gonna do. Yeah, that's what we're not gonna do.
We
What
going
we're
in?
not gonna do is put this fist up and be like, we can be cooler and nobody can, amount to who we are. When in actuality, if you want to be truthful, no one could amount to who you were if you were really standing in who you are. But a lot of you are not. So because you're not, we're not even gonna say that the white man.
We're not talking about Ray Ray.
No,
We ain't talking about Ray Ray.
No, I mean,
Let's go there. Let's go there, Jayden. Let's go there. Let's go there.
You writing your seat?
10 toes
You
down.
writing your seat?
Let me get 10 toes
Let's
down.
go. Let's go.
That's what I mean, and I'm not just talking about Ray Ray because Ray Ray is far behind. But there are a lot of you black kings, and I will call you kings because you already know that you're in a kingdom and that this is your kingdom. Yeah, you already know I did not come to play. Bang bang! Gang gang, nigga! Gang gang! But listen, you know that you're running kingdoms, yet you're not moving forward the way that a real true king
She was a queen still.
yeah, see, that's why you keep talking because I got her back.
Really?
That's what queens do. Hold up, no, this is what queens do. We improvise. So while she's getting that together, I'm gonna get y'all together. Listen,
Really?
it's kings in here who know that they are running kingdoms, yet they are not standing forward. They're trying to put everything on the queen, who's literally supposed to just keep the kingdom running. Yet he is supposed to provide. There are a lot of kings who are not moving in that spirit. They're not moving toward real greatness. They are content with exactly what they have. Why? Because they think that they're the black man, and that because they are strong and they can run fast and they can fix shit and they can put TVs up and they can and they
Are you
can
just
be
running around an apartment naming shit?
no, but I'm just thinking about shit. I'm not minimizing, but I think that a lot of you guys really pride yourself on being able to be handyman and being able to be so multifaceted. It's the fact that you can be able to chill with the white man and be this strong black brother that runs really fast and that can rap even or turn on.
That felt really personal. That felt really personal.
This is my man though.
I had to add everything. I had to add everything. I have to put everything in there, but it's just like because so many traits are attached to the black man, you guys think that you cannot be touched. And that is not the case. It's only the case when you have done the work, when you've done the shadow work, when you've truly tapped into exactly who you are, and you know how to walk in the king. And I'm gonna tell y'all that, like the balance, the scales, like what's higher is not the men who's done the work. Definitely, it's not.
I feel the same way about the women, but I'm on that Jayden go.
Yeah, nah.
Since the same way.
I feel like that too. What I would say is this.
They think they suck dick good and they hit a certain.
But see,
go
different
ahead.
stuff.
I'm not even going. Go ahead.
I would say this. I like this dynamic, and I'll start it this way. I like this dynamic because it allows us to learn from each other and you know what I'm saying, working in a way of improvement. What I dislike about what you said is the black man is the only one that's looked down so much by every ethnicity or every segment of the world. We just heard what you said about what you felt about black men. You go to work, we go into corporate America, and they fear us. We go outside, and the police fear us. You know what I'm saying? We go here, and they, you know what I'm saying, they look at us a certain way. We're not looked at positively in any realm of society. And then you want different. Like you can't look at us a certain way and then want more.
Nope.
Right? And then what I don't like is you compare niggas and men the same way. Like, but you don't compare women and different type of women a certain way. Like you call every woman a queen, right? She could be a roller, she could be a thought, she could be a scammer, she could be all of that. You know what? She probably had a reason to do that. Mm-hmm. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like they'll kill Future, right? But they won't kill the 50 women that, you know what I'm saying, that's waiting in line to sleep with her.
Oh, I do.
You feel me?
I do.
You know what I'm saying?
That part.
That part. Yeah.
I do.
I would be over there first.
But the majority
and I
of
can
women
agree.
don't.
But you know why? Because they have not done the work. It's the same way with them. Now, when we say I don't put the niggas in the kings in like the same category, or nor do I sleep on the women who are not queens. I don't call all women queens. Just because you're a woman and you wear a crown don't mean you are a queen. But some of them are princesses and some of them just want to be. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
so you have a spray painted crown. It doesn't make it real.
Spray painted.
Either way, hey, some people are gold plated. Either way though, it's not genuine. It's not real. There are a lot of women who haven't done the work too. But what I'm speaking of are kings who know how to tap into their higher self, and yet they choose not to. Yet they choose to go the easier route. That's what I was speaking to. So let me just specify that I'm literally speaking to the men who have done the work and choose not to walk in their growth.
Yeah, if you do that, you'll count.
That's what I'm speaking to. But you know what? Let me just say, I've come across a lot of cowards. And the ones who don't be cowards end up being my brother.
Huh?
Like, I got a lot of, no, not you, but I'm like, the ones that don't be cowards end up being, some a tomboy. So they end up being like the guys who I hang out with, who I would never look at romantically. So now I got to deal with, romantically, the guys who are not that. So that's why I'm single.
I feel like you just psychoanalyzed
that whole shit.
you psychoanalyzed me a little bit. Like,
It's Mel turn.
I'm gonna go after Mel.
No. Whoa! I was just agreeing with her.
Yeah,
and the whole psychoanalysis plays into Joe Budden, so I was just kidding.
I know on the black man.
Yeah,
That's right.
I know a lot of women who don't exactly know what they want or exactly where they want to go, and they just. I had women. This gonna sound like some sucker shit, and it probably is. But I'm gonna give you a real thing. I've had women lure me along with the promise of a relationship when all they wanted was dick.
Oh, man.
But I'm thinking we building something. They telling me we building something, but then that's just their lie to have sex. And it's like, well, damn. Like I thought this was something. You know what I'm saying? So women do the shit, men do the shit.
Sorry for me to laugh at that, but I swear this is the confirmation that I needed. Like, I literally was wondering if men feel a way about that because I had that experience.
Well, I feel a way about it if you lie.
Yeah.
If you lie about it.
But
If you tell me I want dick, I don't want a relationship, then even if I want it, I'm gonna be like,
At least I know who you
I'll
support.
take the pussy.
And
You know, I understand it ain't going nowhere, but at least I get the pussy. But if you tell me I like you and I only like you and I don't know why everybody's trying to do this and make us date other, I don't understand.
I would say this though, you know what? And dudes do it too. Like if you can't
Dudes do it the most.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
will admit that.
On the
We
opposite
do
way.
it the most.
On the opposite way though, if you can't handle that, you gotta be transparent in saying that on the front end. Like you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? If that's what that's what she want, you like, yeah, but that's when you like, you know what? Let me go ahead back up. Because you're saying, and I already know how.
Hell yeah, and I definitely backpedal if you tell me. But if you tell me I want your relationship,
Yeah.
I don't want nobody but you. But that's not your truth.
Listen, don't do that.
That's just what
But
you told
put
me.
that out there, though. We got a lot of people who.
Don't make me cut off my hose for you and you ain't really.
I actually said that to a woman. I cut off all my hoes for you because you told me you.
That's the
Because it's not you really wanted
That's
to.
the chance you take.
I'm just gonna sip my tea.
Don't
Sip your tea because
But see,
I know what
let me
you
just
said
tell
to
y'all.
me.
Let me just say this:
You know what I'm saying?
actions speak louder than words. Sex is not the thing that tells you that.
But even actions, but I've seen actions like it's just the like scammers. It's just
You been
Just a scammer like Porsha's husband. I mean, fiance.
I mean yeah.
That part too.
But like Porsha and her husband, both of them. But it's just I just look at it like because I'm so honest, and let me backtrack that. I'm not gonna go around telling everybody I'm allergic to kryptonite. So I'm not Superman saying I'm not ridiculously forthright with everything that hurts or whatever. But I'm honest about what I want. I'll tell you, I want this. What you want? I don't want that. What you want? I'll have those conversations. I'm going to say, hey, you know when I was 12, I mentally abused my father. I don't do that shit on the first date. You know what I'm saying? But I will do. You know what I'm saying? Like, some niggas go with that. With the facts. But I'll tell you, this is what I spend. This is what I want. If you tell me, I don't want nobody but you, I'm gonna think that's what you meant.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm
I'm
gonna
even
think
call a
that.
nigga daddy if I ain't.
If you tell me I don't want nobody but you, but girls I know are trying to hook me up with other niggas, but I only want you, I'm gonna be like, oh, like I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Now, listen.
But I understand now, motherfuckers lie.
Let me just
They
give y'all
just
some tips.
lie.
And I'm about to distill this
And lie on other people.
Are you
They
listening,
just
bro?
want- Yes, yes.
Did you ask that question before that was said to you?
What question? Which one?
Whether she really only wanted you?
I never even brought it up because I didn't.
Alright, boom.
She
There's
just
your red
volunteered
flag.
it. She just volunteered it.
Kings, if you don't have to ask that question and she just volunteers that you're the only one that she wants, she's lying. She wants to put that in your head so that you don't ask. Once you start to feel that there's somebody else.
Wow.
That she already assured you that she's the only person that she wanted. And I'm playing y'all on game. Like,
She's
I'm
giving y'all a
probably
cheat
gonna,
code.
yes, definitely a cheat code.
Yes.
Because anytime that
But you
my brother
understand how
says-
scandalous that is.
Listen,
You
you
can
already
understand how confusing that is.
Listen to me. First of all,
You better give me
hold
that
up.
whole feel about
Hold up.
things not standing in their place.
No, I'm not even going to give y'all that spill, but I do need it to be. Listen, I need y'all to know because y'all already knew that
I
men
know.
play the game.
You just breathe.
Y'all already knew that men play the game, but women invented it.
Because I know what he's talking about. And I'm like, oh, I'm not even going to comment on this situation because my perspective is completely like.
But for the record, the woman.
No.
Okay, I'm not even going to.
Either way, they were probably just red flags that showed you that she was lying. Either way, she's lying. That's just it. If you don't have to ask her, because if you don't ask us women and we're not doing something, then we don't think that there's a problem. We don't even think that you're going to think that. Why? Because it's not a space. So if it is a space and you haven't gotten there first, let me keep him from even going that way. Because I know
why would I think in my normal everyday activity she's volunteering this information because she's trying to trick me?
Well, you don't have to think it, but now you know.
Well, shit, I knew a couple years ago. I tell you.
You learned.
Yeah, I learned a minute ago. What I'm saying, you know what? Fuck my.
Ladies, I apologize.
What we got? Nipsey Hussle.
Just
I told on us.
She just snitched.
I'm still here with the dumb smile.
Nipsey Hussle. So,
yeah.
you know what? I will say, this is a situation where I don't need any proof or any evidence or anything. I know that in my heart, I think this guy is just a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just doing something good. Jayden Smith, Will and Jada's son, Jayden Smith, has opened up a restaurant where he's asking regular patrons to pay a little bit more than what the food will be worth, so that he can give homeless people food.
Yes.
For free.
Jayden Smith and Willow Smith are the example of what free black children grow up looking and acting like.
Pound it. Yeah.
Like that.
Because I just
That is what free black
they
children
love
look
them.
like.
They have well, Jayden has a restaurant where if we go, he's going to ask us to pay extra $10, $15 for our meal.
So pay for it. Basically,
So he can give food to homeless people during the downtime. He doesn't want homeless people in LA to not have food, healthy food. It's a vegetarian restaurant.
This
And
is what free black children look like.
I don't know how to say you're amazing.
This is what free black children look
I
like.
don't know how to not say that. Nigga, King, you're amazing. I don't know another thing to say. You're amazing, King.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. Now I ain't got the money to do it. So I couldn't do it. I never even thought about
That's
it.
what I was about to
And
say.
it plays also into the free black children
And
because
to allowing them to just
having
What's
free
free black
thought.
children? What's free black children?
Because these children, like Willow and Jayden, are not your standard issue black children. Like whenever we see them, they're always on some different shit. Like, for instance, Jayden had the water cup, the bottled water, but which was not bottled. It was like in paper boxes. Like the amount of thought. I mean, they also have access because they come from a family of means. Like, and when you have money, you are allowed access to certain things. But this is what it looks like when you level the playing field and that you create equity amongst the individuals and allow people to flourish and be their true selves. And it also circles back to the parenting style that Will and Jada have because they've allowed their children to flourish in this mindset. So Jayden be on his like real philanthropy, like I'm giving back as much as I can. Willow is a total free spirit because we know she just had that episode on Red Table Talk. Yeah, I mean, and she's always speaking her mind on Red Table Talk. They have allowed her access to this platform. It started at like 17, where she could express her thoughts. But that is not how any of us grew up. You know what I'm saying? So this is what it looks like when you are able to raise free black children, because these are ideas that we would totally recognize coming from white people. You know what I'm saying? But like when you allow your children to flourish and to really get down to who they are as a person and figure out who they are and what they want to contribute to this world, this is the result of that. You end up with Jaydens and Willows.
I agree.
And that is what free black children look like.
I totally agree. It's definitely the difference between having a child that you don't allow to express themselves and having children that you allow to help, to hold you as a parent accountable. It's not that what happens in this house stays in this house type of attitude. It is what happens in this house, you do what you feel is best.
Speak when you're spoken to, or this is a conversation for adults. Nah, this is a child who is formulating her own opinions.
Yep, I eat lobster, you eat lobster.
Yeah, just because you're an adult doesn't make you right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I was raised that way.
With black households.
To a degree.
We have an idea of thinking that, like, because we are the adult in the situation, our viewpoint is what's right. No, children have a different way of seeing things.
Right. I grew up not under the guise of, I grew up bucking against because you're an adult, you're right. I grew up like that, like I was 8 years old, staying up till midnight. I moved in with Aunt Joyce. I was hanging with my niggas on the weekends. I just came into my bedroom one day on a Saturday morning. Like, what the hell? It's boys and girls in the room? Like, yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Makes sense.
That's what I'm doing.
Did it make sense?
Oh,
Wow.
I apologize. Mute that shit out.
We gonna edit it.
Ain't no way.
But like, that's how I grew up. Like,
edit it.
I was willfully given to me, or I took it. At a certain age, I just was like, I'm doing me.
Right.
And I was like 8 when I said that, and it was weird to every adult around me.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, you 8?
8.
Who the fuck are you talking? Like,
Yeah.
who the fuck you think you? This who I think.
8. You see, I had to take the blockers off of that.
Yeah, I've been on my own shit my entire life, and
That's like what?
they tried to stifle it to a degree, and then at some point it was like, you know what, just wanna.
Let's just let him go.
Just let him flourish. Let's just see what happens.
See, right?
Go be
Because
So you didn't
And when you are allowed that
I was
degree
given
of
50
being able to
years?
flourish.
You said since you was 8, so you've been independent for like 50 years.
whoa, wait a minute, this number, you know what? Cut her mic off.
Yeah, man.
J. Lou, cut her mic off. Cut her mic.
She
The
is
disrespect.
ridiculous.
The disrespect is
It's
a lot.
ridiculous.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I had to bring it back in
I put you
so we can move forward.
Because he was talking shit.
Uh-huh.
He's trying to make me 70. Man, fuck that. If I'm 70, this nigga 90.
Well, both of y'all are the same age as Felicia Rashad,
Let's go.
who
I
is
love
now
her.
running
The Dean
the
of
Dean.
Fine Arts, the newly re-established School of Fine, the College of Fine Arts
Something auntie.
at the Howard University, HU.
You know?
That's right.
I spent a lot of my life in
third best
HU.
HBCU.
That's on Jack
The number
Angel.
one highest ranked HBCU in the world.
The
It's
third
actually
Number
best
one,
HBCU.
number one.
The third best HBCU.
It's actually number 2
Two.
to Spelman.
Fuck Spelman.
Ooh,
And-
Shannon
and-
Spelman.
I'm just telling you the number.
So
I
where-
got some dope ass friends
so
that
where's
graduated
Morehouse?
from Spelman.
Like number
What?
7 or
9 or
8,
7.
something like that.
Yeah.
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 But
Simmer down.
but I
Simmer
mean,
down.
if
So
we're just gonna be honest about the numbers.
Don't use my knee no
And
more.
I used to say
Yeah.
Don't
argumentative
use my knee no
Alexis.
more. Don't use my knee no
But
more.
tell this Morehouse guy
Right.
to simmer down.
Disrespect.
Morehouse isn't even in this conversation.
Simmer
It's
down.
the-
Simmer
This
down.
is a
Period.
but
the house.
the house versus Spelman is no comparison. They still outrank you.
That part.
Spelman, no.
And so
Spelman's
does
still
Howard.
at number
And
one.
so does
baby.
Howard. And so does Howard.
Still at number 1, baby.
We're the only
Spelman's
real
number
issue.
1, and they've been number 1 for
Give
a
him
while.
what you
I can't
The
discredit
house.
them.
The
I
house.
can't
That's
discredit
all we gotta
them.
talk about.
So
But-
shout out to
And I
Auntie.
do not think that it is a
Shout out
level
to
playing
number
field
9.
because you have a college versus a university, and one caters to one sex versus one caters to both.
That part.
Both.
We did good at
It's like a
class.
bisexual or like a unicorn or like a.
Shush.
This is going on
We
to
did
Jay-Z.
good at CAU. We did good at CAU and Spill.
Well, let's go.
The house.
So
Let's go to HOV.
We did a good
How about
see you
that?
was spelling too. We was
But
like,
anyway, Felicia Rashad has
HU.
now been appointed. Well, has now taken on the job, the role of being the dean of the College of Fine Arts, which has now been newly reestablished. Because the College of Fine Arts had been absorbed into the College of Arts and Sciences several years ago, but now they've reestablished themselves as an independent college unto their own, where they can award their own degrees.
Mhm.
Shout out to them because my minor is theater, so you know,
Yeah.
as a Howard graduate, and as a graduate of the College of Arts and Sciences. Arts and Sciences.
Farts?
I know. I heard it when it came out. Arts and Sciences, and with a minor in theater.
Get your awesome
I am
farts.
very highly humbled and gracious and thankful.
Highly favored.
Yeah.
Ain't you? You know.
But no, for real.
And I went on a
I'm
Diddy
proud.
scholarship program, which means I dropped out to be a rapper. But I was up. I was up out.
You know,
I was up there.
40P, they call me 50P.
I was up there. So shout out to HU. You know what I'm saying?
If you can't get up there, just come on down to the house, man. Spike, we got a whole nice little setup.
The house, meaning the penthouse on Georgia Avenue.
That's right, Penthouse Strip Club, the
Yeah.
house. And he also know because he uptown nigga. You know what it is.
I used to know some strippers there.
The home
from my
in the
Montgomery
MLK.
Lounge
The
dancing
home in the
days.
MLK.
Montgomery Lounge, the house.
Come
You know
holler
what it
at
is,
home
you know
in
what it
MLK.
is.
Come holler at
This is not the tailgate, guys. This is not the tailgate. Let's go.
So,
Check out HOV. Y'all want me to talk about these?
It won't let me come back.
actually, yeah, man, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We got Hov, we got Tina Turner. How y'all feel about that?
Okay.
Jay-Z is the rap god to me. He deserves it. Tina Turner, I'm surprised she is just getting in.
I'm surprised too that she's
I'm like,
just
what the
getting
fuck?
in because baby been keeping those legs ready for centuries. Like
Tina
why
Turner
was
made me
it-
like legs. I didn't even like legs until
Okay,
Tina Turner.
didn't nobody even know
I was
they really
like,
worth anything.
who gives a fuck about legs? And I was like, oh, I want to fuck your legs.
So is that like when you put your dick in the armpit or like the arm?
Wait, people do that?
Yes. And they
Well,
fuck your armpit? Or like titty fucking? Or like,
What?
Is
Titty
it-
fucking I do know about. I mean, I got.
oh yeah, armpit fucking is definitely a thing.
What? So leg fucking is a thing. Listen, if leg fucking is a
Probably
thing,
is.
Tina
You
Turner
probably
definitely
squeeze
needs
your
a
leg
leg
up
you
like
guys
this
should
and then
look
be
forward
like-
to experiencing it with because that little honey has definitely kept her legs in shape for centuries.
Yeah.
Okay, they are worth millions.
Centuries? Well,
Decades.
Well, no. The 1900s and the 2000s, that's centuries.
Cash
I
money taking
technically-
over for the 9
technically-
2000.
But I'm gonna tell you how this.
Hey.
Like, when you're working with some leg shit.
I'm gonna tell you like a quick story. I went to BET to promote my new single, and decades ago, and Free and AJ were the hosts. And when we were leaving for the night, her fine ass, we were leaving for the night, and she had allowed me to speak on camera because she didn't want to show love. She didn't give a fuck about me, but she just wanted to be a good person. And at the end of the night, I'm like, Free, thank you. She's like, oh, baby, it's okay. Da, da, da. And I reached out to touch her arm, like, thank you. No, for real, I appreciate it. And I touched her arm, and it was glistening. And it was like
Everybody
shea
says that about
butter,
her.
cocoa butter. And my
Shea
fingers
butter.
That she has like
literally
some
went
softest
through
skin.
her arm, and it came on at the bottom. And I was like, and she was like, yeah.
Everybody says that about her.
She was like, yeah.
So you wanted to touch
So
my
I
shea
went
butter
to- I did.
and her glow? It's the melanin. Y'all
I
know
was
how these
gonna
chicks
It's the
literally-
melanin
I
for
was
me
literally gonna put
though.
my tongue in her ass. Like, I was like, Free, like,
He was like, been doing that.
No way,
That's your
no
go-to.
way.
let's be free.
New go right there.
Let's be free.
That's my go-to. That's my go-to. Oh, wow.
Like, when in doubt.
Wow.
When in doubt, man. This is what I'm gonna do.
Really? Really? Cut his mic off, man.
No,
Cut his mic
turn
off.
his mic up.
That's my go-to.
Get started. Mold the way up.
I tell you guys this. Since we got a Raven fan, 2 dead skin fans.
Whoa,
And-
I'm still
A cowgirl
Oh, that's
fan?
right. You're a Steelers fan.
You know Steelers fans, do you realize that Steelers fans are the
Oh,
disloyal ones that always the people
Ravens
who are
and
from a
Steelers
totally
fan
different
back
state.
side by side.
Yeah.
And then a
Steelers
former
fans be
Redskins
from
and
all
a
over
Redskins.
because they're disloyal. It's like their team.
When you going back to North?
I'm tomorrow to get my kids, but then I'm coming back.
Dang.
I want y'all to have this football discussion. I gotta take a piss.
Me
I want
too.
y'all to have this football
Both
discussion.
of us do.
Who you like, Baltimore?
Yes.
So you're gonna be.
And
Yeah,
you
Yes, team.
Ladies first. Ain't that what you said? Ladies first.
No way. I have to admit, yes, our team is definitely just getting into their niche. You know what I'm saying? We're just figuring out how to work the suit. Because sometimes, you know, the left hand shoots something different than the right hand. You just gotta know which one shoots what. And that's what our team has been experiencing for the past few
You know
years.
what? Since you started that, I'm glad you're getting out of Baltimore.
Listen, guess what? My heart is still there.
Yeah.
Despite how glad you are about that, my heart is still there.
Make sure you leave your heart there. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely will leave my heart with my boys.
Yeah, you
I
come
will
on down.
absolutely.
Make sure you come on down to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But guess what? I won't be a Falcons
I
fan.
wouldn't be
I won't be a Steelers fan either. I wouldn't wish breakers on anybody because I mean, like, really, big no's. No means no, and you'll never get away from it. Okay?
Shout out to all the killers out here.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Shout out to the killers.
And the Steelers, because apparently they're stealing people from states all over, because it's people from all types of states that's fans of the Steelers. And I'm just like trying to figure out why is this the one pattern and trend that their fans have? Disloyalty.
We'll holler at you.
Disloyalty.
We'll holler at you.
It's that orange and I mean, that yellow and black. Black and yellow stands for disloyalty.
So why you bringing on the podcast?
Hey man, I just.
He knew what was up.
I
He
just.
knew that
It
with all
was
the
a
shit.
weird coincidence.
When you start talking about Steelers,
I remember I went to Bmore Stadium.
you went to Bmore Stadium.
Yeah, when I went to the stadium, I had to go pick my peoples up out there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nasty.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, who wouldn't want to be over this show?
Wow.
I'm sorry, but is your team from where you're from?
No,
No.
I was born into it.
into it, or like kind of like force fed it because you didn't know it. It's not where it's not in the same state that you're from.
You know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because it was more of a choice. You know what? Life is
Let's
better.
get into that.
Life is better when you make choices.
Yeah, and it is great when you can make choices
Yes,
and
yeah.
appreciate the family that you were born into.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
When
I
your
know.
family that you were born into is so dope that you don't have to disown them and go somewhere else.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you,
That's the life you living, bro.
I was a Skins fan, but I had to leave because they wasn't acting right. And
That's true.
From a racial standpoint, I had to leave because I went
Facts.
But then when I heard the history of Steelers and what they spoke up
The morning rule.
for my culture and my people, I can only go there.
So can you tell Mel about what's wrong with her skins and why you had to make that move?
You know,
'Cause she act like she don't know.
Hey yo, I'm just gonna say, I kind of understand when the skins are the
New
team.
ice.
It's kind of like some people are born.
New ice.
I always love skinny. You know,
But it's like
juice.
some people are born into crappy families. Can you bring some juice too? Some people are born into crappy families and you can't choose, those people that are in crappy families. So I get why you're disloyal.
A cup of juice?
disloyal. Nah,
I think
I
you
get
bring
why
my
you-
other one of these.
Nah, I made a choice. See, it's different. Like, you choose to who you be loyal to. That's in all walks of life. Though.
You're right. You're right. Even
in all walks of life, though.
Yes.
Relationships, family, friendships, you choose who you loyal to.
Can I have one? Yeah, I do agree.
You know what?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
You choose who you're loyal to based upon who's loyal to you. And I'm just saying, I chose to be loyal to the people who are actually from my state. I chose to be loyal to my boys, and I will always be loyal to my boys no matter what state I'm living in. Okay?
The
I'm a Ravens
Ravens.
fan.
So one of my customers at my job, he actually used to play for the Ravens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, see, we all
He had a ring and everything.
Yeah. Don't try to sleep on us.
I respect him as a whole.
Yeah.
He actually listens to the podcast too. What up? You know who I'm talking about. Not gonna throw your name out there.
What up? Okay, so
Mel wanted to show where you at. Where we at, Mel?
With what?
I have to say, I'm gonna tell you real quick because Russell Westbrook definitely makes me think of like, all right, I'm not a huge basketball fan, but I do have a bae in basketball. I do watch them to watch, I watch basketball so I can watch them running up and down the court because that's the main reason, if you're watching it for any other reason.
I totally agree.
But my bae, I definitely heard Joe mention the Wizards earlier, and I have to say I'm not really a big fan, but bae is on the Wizards.
Who?
It's my boy Steph.
Okay, because I was like,
Yeah.
are we gonna have to fight?
No.
Okay.
No,
Because
we
my
can
day
hang
is
out
Bradley
together.
Beal.
We can hang out
I'm like,
together.
woo!
We can
I was
definitely hang
like,
out.
wait, I feel attacked.
In the wifey squad.
My amygdala! My amygdala! No.
Yes, definitely had to shout out the bae because I just love Steph.
Bradley Beal is my baby daddy.
And I'm here for the co-parenting. Where's my juice?
So, you get some of mine if you
I
want.
had that.
Okay,
I'll take some
yeah,
of
that was
this
the
Frankie
only
Wade.
I think, do you need ice too or no?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, because I need more ice, but
That's-
it's fine. I'll survive. And a beer.
Did you already pour some?
And a
Mel gotta take care of
And
Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
so-
all you.
Most
That's all
of
you.
these I don't know because, well, let me not say most of them. The NBC Golden Globes and the Upshaws. I know the Upshaws is a show brought to you by Mike Epps on Netflix. It also features Wanda Sykes
Yes.
and Kim Coles. And
Kim Fields.
I'm sorry, Kim Fields.
Tootie from Facts of Life.
Yeah, The Facts of Life.
The facts of life
Yeah.
is life. We gotta know it. You know my asshole. The facts of life. I'm sure that's his song. I don't know the words.
Your ass.
Right, like this equal. He has an obsession
Truman
with
is
his
about
ass
somebody ass,
lips.
though.
He has an obsession with getting his ass lips.
I like it. What you want me to do? What you want me to do? What you want me to do?
No judgment here.
Honesty.
No,
Honestly, I'm a transgression.
That's your
But no, that is a new show on Netflix. Not to be confused with Jamie Foxx's new show.
And it's good, man. It's a sitcom. It was a little ratchet, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be cool."
So it's like this.
This will be
Because this
cool.
is a little ratchet.
Right, but it is like this because it's actually good. The first episode, I was like, We got the husband and wife, the side chick, the side kid. I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. This is painting a picture.
But it's true though.
But they made it work and they made it entertaining.
Are we
and
really
they
pretending like black men
They
didn't?
gave it good times vibes. Huh?
Are we pretending like black men didn't have side
Are
children?
we pretending that black women didn't have
Have
side babies?
whole side households?
Yeah, I told you I ain't black people.
Where
We
Big Mama took care of her and
We the most looked
her
down,
household.
we the
and
most
he had all
looked
other
down.
households.
We are most looked down.
Black women look down on it.
That's
White
right.
Man, everybody.
White
We the
women
bottom of the
still-
totem pole.
First of all, let me just correct you where you're
We
wrong.
still love y'all.
Let me correct you where you're
No
wrong.
matter what, we still love y'all no matter what. Even
Hold
though
on.
y'all.
Man, nigga,
we
we've
so
been
hot.
there for y'all since forever.
Don't get me started on that.
Hold up, exactly.
Are you serious?
That part now, let me just say, the whole world is against us black women.
You know,
guys
I'm a
don't
black
have-
man. I'm a threat, educated or not.
And
So are we.
No, you're not.
Yes, we
White
are.
men don't fear y'all.
The world feels like the women should not be able to speak. Look at how many how many men presidents we've had, how many women have been presidents. Hillary didn't stand a chance simply because she was a woman. That's period. It's not the fact that we're just
But
black
that was
women.
white men that did
45 to
It's
1.
not just that we're black women, it's the fact that we are women.
45 to
period.
what?
So let's remove the ethnicity.
Go look at the
Let's remove the
Catholic
fact that let's remove our race and say that the woman species we have
No, I can't
the
do that. I
lowest
can't do that.
the lowest
Because the
level of
woman
respect.
species wasn't enslaved. Black people were.
What?
Black people were.
But it's not just
Women
about being
were not.
enslaved.
Black
At this
people
point, we're
were.
talking about the respect level.
I can promise you respect level.
And we don't get the amount of respect that y'all get as black men. Y'all talking about the whole world is against y'all.
You think black women make more money than black men? Black women make more money than black men. Black women have more positions of power in America than black men.
Do you know why? Because black women get shit done. Let me say that again.
Oh, so we
black
know
women get
the
shit
disrespect.
done.
The
It's a
disrespect
totally-
of black men.
No,
That's
not
it.
saying
There
it's
go.
all get
There
shit
go.
done.
The disrespect.
No,
They
I
get it
didn't
done.
say,
We
I
know.
didn't say black men don't get shit done. I said black women get shit done. It's a difference
no,
in
no,
how
you
y'all
made-
get
you
shit
made
done.
a statement.
Let me
You made
tell
a
you
clear
something.
statement.
Yeah, so let me tell you the clear difference. The difference between a black man getting shit done is that y'all will call T-Mobile and maybe get the bill pushed back, but we won't call T-Mobile and get the bill for free. We about to get all that money off. We about to get everything we want. It is a different. It's a different approach that we have as women.
We
Period.
can't win.
So what I'm
White
saying
people
is
say that
no.
about us. Y'all say that about
No,
us.
what
We
I'm
can't
saying
win.
is not that you guys aren't great. It's that we
It sounds like you said
we
we
take
not
the
great.
hits
That's
for
not what
us.
she said.
No, what I'm saying
We
is
would
that
like to hear. That's what I'm saying. We would like to hear.
no. I'm
We-
telling you right now. So listen, if you want to hear it, what I'm saying is that you guys can watch videos every single day. You can go somewhere on social media and find a video of a black woman standing up for a black man. Whether that is her man or somebody else's. We will step in between a gun and our black men. We will step in between policemen and our black men. But when it comes down to women, you can absolutely find videos of women getting their asses beat and a man behind the camera recording it instead of trying to save her fucking life. It's shit like
And
that,
I
and that's just a shallow example
Right.
that I gave.
I agree, but I want to jump in here because this is where me and a woman totally want to separate.
But before you say that,
Let me say it. Because she said what you said, and I said, well, I taught school children in Southeast DC. I had a school program where I worked with kids. I had a school program where I worked with kids in Atlanta. I had a school program where I paid for after-school programs. You say what black women do. What the fuck did you do? And she looked at me like, oh, since I didn't do everything, right, then shut the fuck up. And we never fucked again after that.
you know what's
But
funny?
my point was, you talking all this shit about what black women do, you ain't did a fucking thing.
But guess what?
Wait. I can list all the programs that I created from scratch that the government paid me to take care of kids. The things that I've done. And what my issue is, a lot of black women ain't done a fucking thing.
A lot of black men
Right. But they're screaming it. I don't know that all black men are screaming, we do more than black women.
No, wait a minute. I think that you're
But black
you're
women are
not
screaming that, and I'm like, nigga, I'm a nigga who and I am continuing to do things. So when black women tell me when black women say what black women do, I go, what you do, Shannon?
Oh, you know,
What
I can
Mel?
personally
I
go
can tell you
down
what
the list.
I did. Don't tell me what black women do because I know what I've done.
let me
And
tell you why.
I don't know any women who have done more than what I've done.
But let me tell you why.
So I look at
did
them
what black women
like
do.
be careful with
Because
all
when-
that hyperbole.
When it is
Because I
stated,
do shit.
when it is stated that black men are pretty much the most hated creatures on this earth, that is
That's a
false.
fact.
That is false.
White men, white men still want to marry you.
We're white.
White men will still marry
And
you.
white women
women
will
marry
still marry you.
Based
No,
on-
but white
based on
men
what
are
we
the top of
give
the
them.
totem pole. White women are
Based on
not.
what we
White
give
women-
them.
Listen,
White women are not. Hold on, let me say this very clearly.
I'm sorry, say that again.
White men are the top of the totem pole.
Mhm.
White women are not. So if a white man wants to marry you, you're higher. If a white woman wants to marry me, I'm still lower.
now
so
let me
it
ask
doesn't
you a
matter.
question. Why is the white woman still not at the top of the totem pole?
I don't know that it matters.
Because
I think
she
all
is
that matters
a
is the
woman.
white man is at the
Because
top.
she is a woman.
But the white
That's
man
what
is at the
matters.
top.
Because she's a woman. The woman.
I agree. White men don't respect their women. I do.
It's the white man, the black man, the
No, it's the white man, the white woman, the black woman,
No.
then the
No.
black man.
No, it's not.
No, that
No,
is
it's
so
not.
bad.
It's the
No.
white man, the black
Hold on.
man.
I wanna
What
hear
is
from
the
Jayden
white man,
Smith.
every
I
other
wanna hear from
ethnicity.
Jayden.
Yeah, we ain't
I wanna
never
hear
gonna
from Jayden.
agree. We ain't never
Not
gonna
on
agree.
that
I want to hear from Jayden.
We ain't never gonna agree on
I
this.
want to hear from Jayden. Stop being Joe Budden.
We can agree to disagree.
I'm not being
So
Joe Budden.
we can agree to this.
I'm not either.
This is,
I just want to hear from everybody.
this is what I said.
You not being Joe Budden?
And this
Can
is
we
what-
hear from other people?
This is what it
Maul,
says. And
Mel,
this
Maul,
is
Maul,
from
Mel.
all love. Like I come from a matriarch family. Like when my great grandmother took care of her 7 kids, and I got 4 sisters. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that perspective. In black men, we don't discount black women, and I think the issue is what happens is sometimes black men feel devalued by black women.
Because we feel like they don't have our back.
That part.
Respect.
But I don't think I got our back.
I see
That's bullshit.
But look,
I can name plenty of women who don't.
And we can show you, we can put
Mel,
up
Mel, hear what I'm
women
saying.
black women who do.
Mel, hear what I'm saying.
Put some black women who don't.
And
What's
I
your
feel,
point?
I feel you. And
It's
love
more
you.
of us to support than more of
No,
it
no, no,
than
no.
it is y'all.
I feel where
That's
you're
not-
coming from, and I
I do.
And I love y'all.
I can do the
But it's
opposite.
like sometimes we feel
You
like
can't.
y'all.
You can't.
Would you like me to do it now?
The
Like,
No.
Like, what the
We
fuck?
really don't have time for that. But I mean, if factually speaking,
Look,
black
Jay-
women
Jay
have
look
been
at
there
that.
for
Jay
black
look at
men.
that.
They get his
Jay, look
time.
at that.
The men, like I said, what I feel like a lot of men feel is we just don't feel valued.
They don't
in
give a
black
fuck how
women.
you feel.
No. But I think we,
Okay.
but we have to though, right? Like, and I think this is good dialogue,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
It is for me to shut the fuck up and listen, and it's for y'all to listen. Because the thing is, we don't move forward unless we both listen to each other.
Mhm.
So I hear where you guys are coming from, right? What I'm telling you is a lot of men, and I'm not talking about niggas, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not trying to be funny. We don't respect certain niggas.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't like them motherfuckers. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when y'all, when you talking about certain type of niggas, we don't like them. We wish y'all wouldn't fuck them. We wish y'all wouldn't, you know what I'm
We
saying?
tell you not to
we
fuck 'em.
wish you wouldn't have fucked
Yeah,
them.
because y'all
We
want
wish
to fuck y'all.
No.
No, that's a little, no.
Not that. Look, ain't
Well, it would be better for you.
We get-
But that's not what we're suggesting.
No, nobody would be
Goodbye.
struggling for that. It's just that, like, no, ain't nobody struggling for that. You know, since we ain't worried about that. It's just we want to feel valued the same way that y'all feel valued.
But
Like,
see, how
like,
we
we don't.
tell us how we feel. See, I think that this really needs to be like we need to
Do a whole
specifically,
little segment.
yes, we need to specifically plan
Like I
a
said,
segment on this
I-
because
I-
we can talk about this all day.
But let me give
Think
you
about
your
it, though,
emotions.
what
Let me
y'all
give you
are
your
telling
emotions,
us,
though. I
what y'all-
love black women. I wouldn't be what I am without a black woman. I love the love that black women show.
Oh, it's funny that you say these things after you just said that the
No,
black
no,
women
no,
kick y'all down, bro.
No, because I'm talking about.
But y'all said the black women
because
kick y'all down?
what I'm telling you is,
No,
I'm
we said everybody.
I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
That's what we
I'm
say. Everybody kicks us down.
No,
That's
I'm
what
speaking
saying.
from a holistic
We're kicked down
standpoint,
by
like,
more people than everybody
I
else.
have,
is what I
you
say.
know, like I have
And that's
great
just factually inaccurate.
I have great sisters.
It's
I
not
have
factually
great
inaccurate, dog. Like,
It
so
is.
y'all not- your general
I don't feel
process
like
is
I
higher.
discounted it.
Like, what are you
but I'm
talking
telling you
about?
how
Okay.
other men.
Are black women more general than black men? Like, what are you
Black
talking
women
about?
do not support
something?
black women like we support y'all.
Oh,
Can I tell you something?
Well, okay,
Seriously?
let me say. Well, I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah,
you
because
go
I'm
first.
gonna just say this. I had friends as a couple who went to jail for the same thing. Do you know who they let out of Please take a guess. Who they kept in jail longer?
I would think the man.
The wife.
Your
The
answer
mom.
tells me it's the wife.
The mom.
But I'm
You
gonna
understand
tell you this. When the Me Too movement first got started and it started gaining a momentum, who was covering it? A black man.
Can I say something to you that's not going to be offensive?
I can't rock with that.
Can I say something to you that's not going to be offensive?
Maybe.
You are a man who knows how to tap into both his masculine and his feminine. So when you come at a woman, you know how to meet her with compassion. A lot of men do not. You
No, he
understand?
doesn't.
No,
I do.
When we're not
No,
talking
he
about this
doesn't.
relationship issue.
I do, but if you hate men, then
Let me
you
say-
I don't come to you.
Let me say
They got
this: when
relationships.
you can come at a woman who's not somebody who you're dealing with on a romantic
Wouldn't it be
level,
the
in that
opposite?
place you become somebody totally different. I don't know you in that area, but as a man who I know,
She don't know me in
as
that
a
area.
man who I know as far as energy is concerned, you can tap into both your masculine and your feminine,
I
which is
agree.
why your space can be so inviting for a woman, but it looks like a man's home. It's that type of energy.
I agree.
So you can't really compare the things that you do and the ways that you are to the ways that we're speaking of because it's not really, it's rare. It's not really
I would
often
agree
that
with you totally
that you meet a
because
man who's that balanced.
as you guys have learned today, and what's been the totality of the show, is I come up with the topics, and
It's Joe.
and
Somebody, Joe.
and a big part of the topics have been fighting for women's rights, fighting for how we view women, fighting for this Me Too movement, and that's all come from me. She ain't come up with those topics.
I think you're
Jayden
conflating
ain't
your
come up with
opinion
them.
on things versus the general consensus as a whole.
But you made a
that's how
specific dig on me, and I'm defending myself
Okay,
in this
now
conversation.
because
me.
there have been issues in the past where you have not necessarily understood the perspective of women.
I still don't think people understand perspective from men.
Never gonna do this.
Hold on. Let me get this up.
But y'all never gonna
Let
do
me get
this.
this up. Let me get this up.
That's why we gotta learn.
Let me get this one part
I
out.
totally
Let me get this
understand.
part out. Hold on, wait. This is important. This is important. Jayden, Shannon, this is important. This is important. This is important. Let me get this out. I don't feel like men don't respect men. Like what she said right now, dog.
Fine.
I have done.
That ain't no fine. You gotta talk
No,
to
he's
him.
right.
No,
Let me-
That's
no, no,
right. I don't
no,
respect men.
Hold up, one second.
But let me finish.
This is
Find a way.
right.
I need everybody to find a way to let me finish.
Get your thought
Let
out.
me finish everything she said. Like, I don't know. I can't speak for every man she knows, so I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to say, I would think men will be hard pressed to find a man who has been more supportive of the Me Too movement, more supportive of transgender, gay, any of that more than me. Now she can say, "Nigga, you tripping? I got 18 of them," and I would accept that. But my personal opinion is, it's gonna be hard for you to find somebody who's more supportive. It's gonna be hard for you to dog, we've had 2-hour long discussions just about this that I bring up. Nobody brings up topics. I create topics. I don't get help with topics. It's what Nu wants to talk about. And that's not Joe Budden ego. That's just what it's been. But my topics have been advancing women. Getting women, like niggas need to chill out with how they treat women. I don't say nigga and bitch no more. I say king and queen. Like, it ain't going to really exist over the last 3-4 years. What would you say?
You working on it.
I'm working on it. It ain't going to exist over the last 3-4 years. Anybody with any kind of voice that has not been more supportive of a women's movement that I think I was a burden to before, that I'm an ally to now. It just don't really, I don't think it really exists. Like, and I'm not being facetious, like, no, we were doing Me Too discussions about spring break and all that stuff 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't jump in it in 2021. I was doing this shit years ago.
Right.
And I wasn't doing it because they suggested it.
Right.
I was doing it because it was on my heart. It was when I
Because
was.
thinking of how you were raised by women.
And what
I was exactly.
So
I was
you care
raised
about
by
what people
women,
do,
not
not
men.
saying that-
My father wasn't there. I was raised by women. So, but I also, in total transparency,
Let me say to a degree.
I was a
yeah.
piece of shit when
Yeah,
I was
you
younger.
are a piece of shit.
Whoa! Wow! Wait a minute!
See,
Hold up! See, we can't grow. They don't let us grow. They don't let us grow.
This-
No,
how we
let
do-
me tell you
let me
something.
say
I'm a
this.
piece of shit too, and I will tell you. I'll be the first to tell you because in a lot of situations, guess what? I can be a piece of shit. Shit is different. You know what I'm saying? Some days you don't even shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like it don't mean that you do something shitty every day, but I can tell you that if you come to me with some stupid shit, I'm gonna be the first person to make you feel stupid.
Let me tell you.
I'm a piece of shit.
Let me speak to this though real quick because I listened to the pod a little while, right before, and you said certain stuff that gravitated me towards Nu is how he spoke about things. Like he spoke extremely highly to you, like extremely highly. To you.
Oh, pay me no mind. I'm just a man-hating woman over here.
No.
Is
Is
that a feminist that I heard?
No. I want to get to this point though because sometimes you don't understand how highly somebody speaks about you because you're not there. Like he really fucks with you.
Mm-hmm.
So when I decided to come on here, right? You know what I'm saying? To come out, like what I respected more about Nu is he was more transparent in ways that I wasn't. And the love that he had for you, I was like, I kind of like the dynamic because one, Mel, shit, you were checking. And he had said what the fuck he gotta say. But I thought that was the shit. That was what made y'all work. Because it was like, I grew up with 4 sisters and 10, 15 cousins that thought it was, I was like, you know what? Y'all can learn and feed off of each other. So that's why I know, you know what I'm saying, he fucks with you and vice versa because of how y'all operate. So like, that's one of the things that kind of like, sometimes you don't know how much somebody rocks with you because you're not around when they show it. Mm-hmm. And when you really know, and the way you know somebody rocks with you is how they show it when you're not around.
Okay, so I just want to add like a new segment. I want to give like the damage control reward, right? Because Jay definitely gets the damage control reward of like the day. For a second, I was trying to figure out how his speech could become the eargasm. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, I think we need to make a totally different segment for Jay because he knew exactly what to say to like bring it all together.
We can do that if Mel and Nu give each other a hug right now.
I mean, the space that's there is.
Don't
Don't make her.
I'm so ready to punch him in the face.
I know. That's why you give him a hug. That's how you diffuse it.
But
Please don't touch me.
That's the thing about them
get
big
weird.
brother figures though, like whatever you call them, like they always think that they
Hey,
can do some crazy stuff and they give you a hug. Like, and
No, hug me back. No. Hug me back.
No, take it when she's ready.
That's right. The woman right.
Because no means no.
The woman right.
No means no.
You know how they are, man.
All I can do right now is smile at the camera because I've been told I hate men. So I mean, all I can do is really just smile at the fucking camera right now.
Here's
There's
the
a
thing
comment in a
now.
lot of stuff.
Here's the thing now. They always call us feminists when we stand up for ourselves, and they always say we hate women when we stand up for ourselves. And the thing, the truth of the matter is, a woman who hates
knows
women
how my mind
He's
works.
from Baltimore.
She know how my mind works.
what you saying?
I'm sorry. Next
Well,
segment.
You don't want to do that.
Next segment.
But Mel knows when she can get out of her thing, she knows how my mind works. She like probably more than anybody. She knows how my mind
So
works.
you're
I
saying
know
right
that's
now.
not sticking your shit.
That's I'm just saying. Like,
I know how you
no,
work
really?
I broke my block.
This is the conclusion you came to that I hate men? Like, really?
The conclusion you came to was that black women have a harder than black men?
You know what?
Yes,
You know what
but
happens
you
is-
personalized it. You made this about me.
So you know what? I think in order to come in and maybe snatch up the damage control reward from Jay, I think that we should definitely make this like an intention to talk about who has it worse. Black women or black men.
Or I don't know.
only do
We're gonna get
who got it worse
We'll talk about
Olympics.
that to the next show because
Why would
that's
you say
exactly
black
what I'm trying to
people?
get to.
Black
I don't want to do the who got it worse Olympics Cause that,
That
I
just
gotta
doesn't
rush you.
sound-
You gotta rush me. I gotta rush you.
That just
I
sounds
don't
like
think
a battle
that
of the
is-
sexiest
yeah.
of us just
I don't wanna
constantly
do
putting
that.
ourselves in
I
this
don't wanna do that.
I'm so
But-
glad that you guys said that because that's exactly what you guys sound like. A battle
I know.
of the
I know.
sexes, like in this moment right now.
But I didn't bring that direction up. I didn't make a comparison. I was just like, we got this, we got that. Well, we got to work.
I think that's what it, you know what
Ah,
I think
yeah.
it is.
You think you got the words.
That's every relationship.
personalized.
That's
Well,
every
after you,
relationship.
well,
and
after
every
you
conversation.
personalize it when you say I got worse than you knew,
Like
and then I can go, whoa,
You start getting.
let me explain to you how you don't have it worse.
You start
And
getting.
you know what? You
So
know what?
you made a person with you
Here's
in my
where
eyes
maturity steps
first.
in. Here's where maturity steps in. When somebody tells you that they have it worse than you, and you don't have anything to prove, so you don't have any need to say this is how you don't have it worse than
But
me.
what
You
I
let
do,
people just
then I
speak.
step back,
They
then
know
I
the
step
thing.
back, I step back, I was like, alright.
So if you
Yeah,
stepping back
yeah,
from
yeah.
that, let's step forward into this
Let's just
orgasm.
talk about oppression. Hold on, because we still have to talk about them. Because this is a show that we've been supposed to be talking about and watching, and we just Nu has not.
Oh yeah.
We're not watching that, there's too many black women on
I think it's too
It's too many
much.
black women.
I'm talking
He's being an
shit.
asshole, but I really think that for me personally, I can't get into it because I feel like it's like pushing this energy that's just like we are not.
And then there's the Handmaid's Tale, which played right into the shit. So
That's
I'm
just
just,
crazy.
I'm
You
just
know?
gonna skip over the Handmaid's Tale because that is just gonna
We gonna leave that right
Well,
there, but
men having all the authority.
we're gonna leave
Well,
that right
now,
there.
Handmaid's
But
Tale is
with them,
different.
I just can't.
This
get
ain't
into it.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, I can't.
You mash the two up together, we're just fucked culturally.
Like, with
As-
no
as-
So,
condom.
we're not hands when you get pregnant, have it being LeBron James. It's a baby. I'm just saying.
LeBron James not my favorite. I just need to say that.
He's nobody's favorite. Well, he's somebody's favorite. He's somebody's favorite.
He's a lot of people's favorite.
He's a whole lot of people's
A whole lot of people.
He's
They
just
love
like
that sweatband that is like practically
He's just like
tattooed on his forehead. Either way though, them I feel like
Don't need
if
no
you
marks.
really haven't taken the time to
I
learn the
believe in the
history,
marks.
Don't need no.
get into it. Okay?
I didn't watch them. I do want to watch it. Did we talk? We talked about the Upshaws, right?
Yeah.
I briefly spoke on it.
It's a half-hour sitcom. It's funny as shit. It's a little bit ratchet, but it's funny and it's good humored and
We
you know.
compared it to the show.
So look like we're gonna have to
Yeah.
skip sports again.
Yeah.
Please.
Back to Russell Westbrook.
I'm just saying Russell Westbrook, I mean, he cool people's in my book, what he do?
He broke right. You gotta relax. He broke the
I
triple
told y'all
double
that I'm not a
record.
sports girl. Yeah, I
He-
told y'all that.
he-
This is
broke
y'all
the record
I'm
for
just
triple
sitting back
doubles.
in my business.
Okay,
in
Russell.
history of the NBA, he, in my opinion, contributed to reeling the Wizards from the bottom of the standings into the playing tournament, which we are in now, which we clinched today, Sunday, and you hear this Monday, whatever.
You see us Tuesday.
I think that in watching Russell Westbrook and not being a fan, I disregarded his triple doubles. I was like, he just fighting for rebound, right? It's empty calories. I watched him.
Like liquor.
Yeah, I watched him do this,
Calories.
and I watched him win 75% of his games when he gets a triple double, and that led me to believe it's not empty calories. His team fucking wins.
Yeah.
More than Jordan's team, more than LeBron's team,
Let's go.
more than Magic's team, more than well, regular season. More than Bird's team. He has a better regular season record. He wins 75% of his games when he gets a triple double. That's extremely high.
Yeah.
Nah, 75% quick. Like what I would say about Westbrook is this: every time you hear Russell Westbrook, they say a positive, then they say a negative.
Yep.
So, in light of not being negative about another black brother who gives it his all, I would say this: Russell Westbrook intensity is unquestioned. He gives 100% effort, and in a world where everybody is trying to get 100% reward for 50% effort, you have to respect a man that gives 100% effort.
Absolutely.
So that's what I respect about Westbrook.
Agreed.
Whether it's efficient, all that other, all that other shit. I'm not even gonna go into any negatives because sometimes you can give a, sometimes you give a positive, then you give 17 negatives behind it. You're like, oh, okay. really give me a positive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say this, that his effort is unparalleled. He's a great father, a great husband, a great
Are you
friend.
sure?
Yeah, he's been married to his significant other since since college, and she was on the basketball team, a women's basketball team.
Okay.
She speaks very highly of him. She fights for him, and that's a testament of how hard she goes for him. And coming from somebody who has women that back him a certain level, that's something that's
What you put in is what you get out.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you definitely can tell.
So I
You
definitely-
If she's quality, you can put it in a lot and she don't put shit up and she trash. Just be clear.
You can't tell no hoe to no housewife.
I'm just saying, be clear.
I did.
Just be
It
clear.
happens.
I mean, but she know. She put it out to a nigga and nigga don't do shit. We all know.
Hey, we ain't gonna go into it. We ain't gonna get into another conversation. We can
And
go
I ain't the only one. I'm the only one that's been there.
No,
hell no.
That you put it out to a woman or a man and they don't put shit into you.
no, but I think
Yes.
we've all been
Right.
in that space
That's what I'm saying.
where
I ain't
we've
gonna
all
know.
been. I think as a spiritual being that it is normal to be in a space where somebody is either pouring too much into you or you're pouring in too much into them and not receiving the same back. It's normal. That's the way that we become the strong ass people that we become.
I always say like
I'm gonna take that.
the one like one person gonna like each other a little bit more than others.
Agreed. It
That's
should
just
be like
what
that,
it's
but the
gonna
man, ladies, the man should love you more
This
than
sexy
you
shit.
love
They go to
him.
sexy shit.
No,
They
real
go to
stuff. Let
sexy
me tell
shit.
you why. Because
You don't want to get cheated on.
because cheating don't mean that you don't love. Cheating is not the worst thing that you can
Why
do.
should the man have to love
But
the woman
listen.
more than the woman loves the man?
Because we
Why?
love
Explain
hard
it.
already. We love hard already. So if
We don't
love
love
you,
hard?
No. Not as hard as we love. Not the way that
Do
we
you
love.
hear this?
Y'all
You hear
definitely
this shit?
love hard, but
You hear this shit?
It's not
This is the delusional
I just
nature
wanna
of
be
women,
open and
and this is
transparent.
why
I feel this way.
we have these issues.
I want to see
Let me
We
talk.
literally think that women just magically
Yeah.
love more than
Let me talk.
Because you understand, men's feelings are different than women's feelings.
Very much so. Let me talk.
Yeah.
Because y'all
That's-
can
that's
love a
me being
man.
sarcastic.
I know.
No.
They think that they love more.
There's no.
Who do you?
Let me finish. Y'all can love a woman
I was
and
like,
she
who
will
do you know that loves
Stop.
a
Let-
person
Let her get
Well,
her thought.
more than I
Let her
love?
get her thought out.
But Ashanti does not count. You gotta let that go. Like, you gotta let it go.
I'm letting it go now.
You
I'm
have
letting
to
it go.
have the chance to fall in love with her. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to situations and relationships, we women, when we are that in love with you, when we are deeper in love with you than you are with us, then we will not go certain places that you will go on us. Meaning that's how we end up
If
getting
we're-
cheated on. Nope, let me just change
You say that if we're the same level of in love, that women would act better in that situation than a man would?
Yes.
That's why I say men are the most disrespected people
But
on the planet.
let's be
You like, you can love me as much as I love
The
you,
same
but
amount,
you gonna
but you
still
know
do some fuck
Here's the
shit.
thing. We're
Yeah,
not.
but let
No,
me
we don't love you. No, let me correct this now. We don't love you as much as you fucking think, dummy. Like, if we love you as much as you love us, we don't do that shit.
Wait, so
When we do that shit, it's because we don't love you as much. How like ladies, how stupid are you? We don't love you that much. We're lying. We're trying to get pussy. No, the question was, if we love each other the same way, how do we act?
Right.
If we act another way,
I think
we don't love you that much, you dumb bitch. What God say? You got a piece of my love, you dumb bitch. We don't love you as much, obviously, if we're still acting out. We don't love you.
I thought you were.
We don't love you. We want some pussy. We want some head. We don't love you. If we love you, we act differently. Mel has seen me when I was in love. We act a certain way when we're in love.
I think that just kind of plays into like what we're saying. Like, we love y'all. We go to bat for y'all, but y'all don't necessarily have our back. Like,
That's so offensive.
No.
That is no. Don't say no. You can't say no. You can't say no. I'm telling you, it's offensive.
No, I I'm not saying
It's
no, it's not
offensive.
offensive. I'm not saying it's not
It's
offensive.
offensive.
I can't tell you what to be offended by, but I don't think that you guys are understanding from both perspectives. I don't think that y'all are actually taking a second to look at it from the way that
I think women fall in love easier, but men
exactly,
fall in
and
love
that's exactly
harder.
what I was about to say.
And so women, we will go through.
We're talking about in love. We're not talking about the
I know. Boy, can you listen to me?
Yes,
Because I'm saying,
women,
I think that black women fall in love easier, and so we go through all these extra. We go through miles. We go through the fucking ringer for y'all. But when y'all fall in love harder. Okay, so yes, black men, y'all fall in love with a woman, and it takes y'all forever to get over it if the shit don't work out. It does. I think we move on faster, but I think that we fall in love faster, and so we are willing to do more to get y'all to help you all out or to do whatever just to be that helpmeet.
I think it's because they fall in love with potential.
But does that matter?
It does.
I don't understand how that is relevant.
It matters
because
to me because
I think
if
that,
I'm
like,
in love
how
with
you
you
treat me when I'm in love with you.
If
How
I'm
I treat a black woman when
listen.
she's in love with me, and how a black woman
I
treats
think
me
the
if
rate
I'm in
at
love
which
with
we
her.
fall in
I
love
think
with
that's
y'all
the
is not the
conversation.
same
But I
as
think-
Well, you fall in love after
Of
2
y'all.
fucks, man. Like, yo, I dummy.
It ain't too fast.
Dumbass.
It ain't 2 fucks.
No, it's not.
It's not two
definitely
fucks.
not 2 fucks.
Don't just
Well,
try
well-
to make it that simple. It's not that fucking simple.
So what is it?
But we fall in love with y'all faster. Not saying it has to be 2 fucks. I'm just saying.
But I need you to
we fall
recognize
in
that it is
love
sometimes 2
faster.
fucks. You gotta acknowledge
And
that. You gotta do the whole game, Dale.
That's
You
the
gotta do the
difference.
whole game.
Listen,
You gotta do the whole
I gotta go
picture.
to the bathroom.
But
See,
here's
she
the
don't want to
thing.
do the whole picture. She
Here's
want to
the
do
thing.
the only example where the woman was daring. Nah, some of these bitches fall in love after 2 fucks.
But
Whoa.
see, those are the women
Whoa.
who are stigmatized.
Queens.
They're not in
Queens.
love.
Fuck down.
Queens. Some of these queens fall in love after 2 orgasms.
But what I'm
It's
telling
alright,
you is that
dummy.
they're not in love. They are stigmatized. There's a total difference.
There's
Now,
a total difference
Yeah.
because you
But
know.
we're
You
not
know for
talking
a
about-
fucking fact there's a difference between being stigmatized and somebody
In
actually
love.
being in love with you.
Tell them now.
You know there's a
Listen.
fucking difference.
But listen, when a woman falls in love with you, it is based upon the fact that she can see herself being able to build with you. You know what I'm
And same thing
saying?
with a man.
No, but at the same time, we women, I'm not discounting what you're saying or saying that you're wrong by saying that, but I'm saying that doesn't go here. It doesn't go here. So hold on to that. Because it's not about the fact that men do the same thing. It's about the fact that we fall in love with potential before you men can look at a woman and say, this is my wife. I can see my wife in her. We women can't do the same thing. That's
You fall
not
in love with
something,
potential too.
but not as much as we do.
I can't speak to how much. I can only speak to what I do.
I
I
guess.
fall in love with potential.
Same here.
But in this point, well, let me say,
So
I witness women.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
witness more women fall in love with potential and just potential, with the potential of what a man can be, than
Well, you're a
something that
woman.
actually.
You're a woman.
But guess
my,
what?
My
It's
niggas
the
will
same
tell
way.
me what it is. They will tell you what it is.
Yeah, but
They
it's
will
the same
tell
way
me.
that men will be quick to let a situation go where the woman is holding on to the man.
I know.
lets go.
I know. I can't even say what I
That's
know
what I'm-
because we're recording this, so I can't even speak to personal experience. But trust me, I know men who were ready to be the stand-up guy, and the woman wasn't.
And
And it was
I'm
fucked
not
up.
discounting
It
that.
was
That's what I'm saying.
no. It was fucked up. It was hurtful. It hurt people that were around. This ain't no the girl was fat. Like no, nigga. She hurt him. She hurt me. She hurt everybody. Cause she was on some fuck shit.
I get that.
So you can't tell me like, well, yeah, men always do worse things to women.
I didn't
It's
say
like-
always, and if I did, let me snatch that back because I don't ever mean to say always because it's like a balance. There's 2 different types, you know.
Some of the biggest hurts that I've witnessed have been women to men. That I've seen have been women to men.
Only because
And
y'all
I-
not as strong as us. That's
Well,
that's the
no.
only reason.
I know.
And don't think you want that
I know women.
Yeah,
But
wait,
no,
this
that's not real.
y'all
That's
can't
not
take
real.
attraction.
That's not
Y'all
real.
can't take
I
the
know
pain that
women.
we can take.
I know women who say they can take whatever, and then when it happens,
Thanks for it.
they don't take whatever. Like that's not real. What you just say is not real.
They can't
Let me
take
go to
too.
the bathroom next.
Another shit they can't take too.
Boom.
Yeah, other shit that we can't take, but not many things that we can't take that y'all can take, and that's on period. That's on period. It's not too many things that we can't take that y'all can take.
You said you had to go to bed.
Period.
You said you had to go to bed.
Y'all might have the muscles.
Go to the bathroom.
Look, hold up. Y'all might have the muscles, but we got the strength.
You said you had to go to bed.
Y'all might have
Why
the
you still
muscles, but
talking?
we got the strength.
You
Go
said
to
you
the
had to go to
bathroom.
Everything
Go to
y'all
the
can do,
bathroom. Go to the bathroom.
better.
Go to the bathroom.
That part.
Hey,
Listen.
we better do a battle of the sexes or something.
Yeah.
Cause y'all lost y'all mind.
You lost your damn mind.
Clearly.
You too.
Clearly.
Both y'all can get this smoke. The fuck?
You want the smoke?
Listen, nigga, you know I don't back down from the smoke. I am the smoke. I am the smoke. I am the smoke, okay?
Turn around. Turn around if you want.
Turn wherever you want. Okay? These little dick beaters hit hard, okay?
Stop beating dicks. Let's get to a peaceful place. But
This is why we can't have shit.
but in all seriousness, and like I don't know.
I gotta feed my dog.
I don't even know if we can have in all seriousness conversation because I just don't know where everybody.
We're gonna have the transgender person up here to ride the line.
No.
To play the role of
I just think that I want, and I'm gonna say this. What I want black women to understand is I am never gonna discredit your experience because I was taught, partially by Mel and by some other black women that I, respect and love, that I was shown the era of our, not just mine, but the era of our ways. And I respect it. I know the fucked up shit that happened. Like, I'm hip. I was taught this. It's ingrained in my mind. But what I don't think is Mel knows how fucked up she is to black men. Not Mel in particular, but black women. I don't think she goes, yeah, we did fucked up shit too. I think she just goes, black men did.
I don't think he meant it like that though.
I didn't mean it like that. But I will say that when I hear women talk about all the things that happened to them and they don't acknowledge anything that they did to us, I go, oh yeah, you hate niggas.
Yeah, one of them.
Like you one of them. You don't take no recourse.
And I would
You
say
don't
that we're
accept
not
anything you
acknowledging
did.
what's happening with black men.
No, what you did to black men.
No, I've done fucking shit to black men.
That's what I'm speaking of. But a minute ago,
But none of that,
you
none of
wasn't
that
saying
comes
that.
up though.
You
Let me
wasn't
tell you
saying
what
that.
I've been
And when I brought it up, you looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Now
And
you're
I'm
saying,
still looking at you
okay,
like
but no, now you're saying
Everybody
you've
knows.
done
Because I didn't
fucked up shit.
personalize it about me. I was speaking generally.
Right, but my point
personalized
is, I'll put it this way. I know a lot, I have more black women friends than I do black men. And that is because I enjoy the company of women more than I do men. It is what it is. I'm not apologizing for it. It's a fact. Fuck you if you're offended. I like being around women more than men. It is what it is. I don't care how you feel about it.
I'm the opposite.
Well, so you're like me, because you're like me on the opposite sex. However, the opposite sex tells me all the fuck shit they do. They tell me how scandalous and disrespectful and horrible that they are. So when I say, well, I don't know, women do more fucking shit than men, you're like, no, they don't. I'm like,
I'm telling you what I heard.
my nigga.
I just think that we all
I talk to men and women. I know what women do, I know what men do. And I know that women do worse shit to men.
Both species
based on
do
these
shit.
conversations.
One is just better than the other. That's just it. Both species do the shit. One is just better than the other.
Well, in my scenario, it's women tell me what they do and men tell me what they do. And the shit that women tell me they do is just worse.
But I can guarantee
I tell women,
I
tell women, this is horrible.
Yeah, I
Like, what
guarantee
you're doing is really, really bad. They be like, for that shit. I'm like, okay, well.
I guarantee you.
All right. I don't know men that would do that.
The men are not
I know women that would do it. I don't know men that would do it.
What you playing?
Migos, straight it. Let's move on.
We didn't straighten it. So I like the song actually. I actually like this song. And Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, and Drake put out a new song this weekend too. Off of Nicki's old school mixtape, Beam Me Up Scotty. They had whatever that Itty Piggy song.
Itty Bitty Piggy.
All the girls.
Itty bitty piggy.
It's finally on streaming platforms.
If it's to get itty bitty piggy in the market.
J. Cole's new album.
Go to him, man.
J. Cole's new album, I think it's great. My biggest complaint about J. Cole was that he made all his own beats and they weren't good beats, and he was like, nah, it's good beats.
You know what?
The irony is, I love the new album and the beats, but Mel feels, Mel, you sound like you feel.
No,
She
since
feels
she's
like
been
how
so
I
well for
feel.
me.
I'm just gonna say, I don't even know why you hold bother at this point. I mean, it's me. I win. You lose.
J. Cole?
No,
that was
she's talking about
Nicki.
Nicki.
That was Nicki.
And J. Cole, like, I never heard him say that.
I was wrong. I know. But I think J. Cole, in my opinion, and this is the irony, I think he finally got some good beats. He got Timbaland, different producers. But Mel feels the exact same way I felt about his previous album.
And I've always felt this way
But
about
it's
J. Cole
amazing to me that he
because
still feels the way after this one.
it still feels the same way. I feel like it's an album full of mediocre beats and great bars.
And I feel like honestly, it's some artists who don't need a beat that's going to overpower their bars because they got them bars.
Nah,
Like
but
I
you
need to
fuck that.
listen.
You need a beat to nowadays in this current climate. You need a beat
But who really
with them
serving
bars.
See, it depends on where you at.
Like the beats, some of the
The
beats
beats
that
are
we
what
really
get people
hitting
over.
these days are not matching some of the flows that some of these rappers
And that's
have.
my whole
Your
point.
beat
The
gotta
beats-
match who I
So with
experience.
J. Cole being a nigga who got bars, you need beats to go with the bars. Like everybody's riding on production right now. You need fire ass beats
I
to
think
go with these fire ass bars.
It's the
Who's being
producer.
better this time?
It's producer. It's the producer
They're-
behind the whole
but they're better
song itself.
is subjective because here's the thing: when J. Cole's beats are already at like a 3 to 5, right? If he gives you some shit that's a 7, you're like, oh, this is better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's still not great.
Right.
Still not good. It's still not living up to his potential.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Because J. Cole has fire ass bars. He's had fire ass bars since Cold World. And every fucking project gets put out and it's like, damn, there's so much potential here because his bars are so fire.
Yeah.
But the beats never live up to it.
And I'm gonna say this.
Never.
I'm a J. Cole fan.
I am
here's-
too.
So I'm having
So,
J. Cole. So
I'm here.
What I would say is this. My AUC days, you know what I'm saying? You know, when I was out there partying and you know what I'm saying, going nuts, you know, AUC is the clock spell when you know, going out trying
We know.
when we spotted it. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
We know.
I'm trying to avoid it. I'm
We
trying to-
know.
I'm trying to avoid it. You know what I'm
The
saying?
audience,
But
I'm
what I
sorry
would
if
say
you
is
don't
this,
know
though.
that already. But go ahead.
Bars last. Beats don't.
Beats do.
Bars make the captions.
Yeah, beats.
Beats last.
For the club. You know what I'm saying? When you party and you dance.
Those are the songs you remember the most.
But when you can
the
be
songs
by
with the hottest beats are the
when
songs
you can be
remember
by
the most.
yourself and you can like if niggas don't have
The songs with the hottest beats are
if
the
you
ones
don't
you
have
remember the
no
most.
if you don't have no quotables like my guy knew, you ain't rapping.
I gotta agree with that.
You
Bruh.
just ain't got quotables.
It
You
doesn't
ain't got
matter.
quotables.
If you remember the beat, a lot of us
But you don't
remember the
know nothing
beat.
about
That's
the
true,
song.
because all I can think of right now
We
is
were
All the niggas go broke.
Listen.
Beats go broke.
Listen,
Bars don't.
No, because let me
Beats
tell you,
go broke.
I barely know a fucking DMX line, but I know the bars. I'm sorry, I know the beats. I know Lose My Mind.
But DMX
I
is a
know,
lyricist.
but
You
my
just
point
move on.
is, I know his beats.
I know.
I don't know. I just said I
But
don't
he's
know
a
a single
lyricist.
DMX bar.
But he's
Well,
a
I don't
lyricist.
want to say a single DMX bar. That's a lie.
I say
But I know the beats. I know when I hear Lose My Mind, y'all gonna make me lose my mind, which is not the best
But you
song.
didn't see. But the interesting part is you didn't go. You said the word.
You said the word.
You didn't say the beat. You
Yeah,
said the
but I
words.
know the words because I know the beat. It's easy for me to relate to the beat.
No, actually.
Okay, name your favorite artist for all
You know the words.
Okay, well then fuck it. Maybe it's just me. But I know the beat because I know those bars because I know the beat.
You can remember the words because you know the beat.
Because
Okay.
yes.
But you fuck with the words more because, like you said, what came out of your mouth was not the beat. It
Who
was
your
the
favorite?
words.
Who your favorite artist? Name a couple of your favorite artists.
Right now.
Period.
Well, Andre 3000 is always gonna be the first.
Lyrics.
They can wear dresses.
Lyrics.
No,
And
lyrics.
they
not
have-
a dress, it's a kilt.
And they have good beats. And don't you ever disrespect him like that ever again because
Okay,
we've
alright,
had
It's a kilt.
we've had our Andre 3000 discussions, and I do not appreciate
I don't
you
want
trying to
no
disrespect
smoke.
him.
I don't want no smoke.
Okay,
He can
3K.
wear dresses all day.
It's a kilt. Not a dress, it's a kilt.
Oh, shit. 3K. Okay, who
Uh,
else?
Jay-Z.
Lyricist.
I still remember the beats. I remember the beats before I remember the bars.
But see,
I hear what you're saying, man.
But
I hear what you're saying, but
If Mel said, you know what? If Mel said,
You giving me the top lyrics.
dum 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 dum. But what she actually said is, y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Somebody must
We're not listening to you.
Because
No,
because we going
cut over the
doesn't resonate with y'all. It doesn't resonate with people with the
I
blowing
know.
the whistles
I
and
know it doesn't
shit.
resonate.
Because if I do that shit, most people aren't gonna pick up on what I'm
How you
talking
know? How you
about.
know?
So it's easy.
You're being judgmental. You're judging the black man.
No.
You like, dun, 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 dun,
Don't
dun,
do
dun.
this
Oh,
right
y'all
now.
gonna see if you did the
Don't
whole
do
thing.
this.
Dun, 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 dun,
You need to close it out.
dun, 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 dun. Woo!
I don't want
We
no
gonna know
smoke.
what you're talking
I don't
about
want
now.
No, most people are not. They're not. But if I go, y'all gonna make me lose my mind, they're gonna know what I'm talking about. So it's easier for that. But me personally, as Melanie forehand, Melanie Dion forehand resonates with the fucking production than I do the bars.
So here's what we should do.
Figure it out later.
Y'all notice I'm just gonna put
Yes,
out all
alright.
these things that
Whatever.
will allow us to
Y'all
explore
got
the
it.
spaces
It's
that
your
we
big- it's
say
your
around.
big- Mel.
Y'all got it.
DMX and
No.
Jay-Z, you just
Y'all
picked
got
two of
it.
the top lyricists.
Y'all
of all
got it.
time.
I just wanna let's play a game. And the fact that we're on the show is gonna make us remain accountable. Because I'm sure it's
Let's play. What's the game?
I don't know, but we have to prepare for this game because we have to actually get the instrumentals or the beats to certain
Okay.
songs that we should know hearing this beat, and we play it and we see if we would actually know what song this is. Let's each choose a song to take some lyrics from that we should all know. And we spit those lyrics and see if we can all guess what songs those lyrics came from. Let's see what really does hold the weight, the beat or the lyrics. Now, I mean, if you know that the producer makes the song, then you're smart. But which one is more memorable, the beat or the lyrics? A lot of times, the song be shit bullshit. I can agree with Mel because the beat is bullshit. But some of those lyricists definitely, like, I think J.
The
Cole.
Rock said it best. Y'all use beats for help. We help
You said
the
The
beats.
Rock said it because I was
The Locks,
thinking, do
the
you
Locks,
smell what the
the
Rock
Locks,
is cooking?
the Locks.
Okay, the Locks.
The Jadakiss Styles and
Mel just
Luch.
mentioned two of the greatest lyricists.
Yeah, that's her favorite rapper. I mean, that's her favorite artist.
Don't worry about you.
I'm not even listening to y'all anymore. Thanks.
You agree with us. Like, don't be like that. Sometimes it's good to do something exactly. You like this?
She's not listening, Jay.
Yeah, she listening. She hear me though. It don't
She-
matter if she listens, she hear me though.
That's true. There's a difference. But either way,
We like it.
I'm just saying, I think we should do that. Okay?
We should.
Now let's move.
Let's move to tomorrow. I knew that this was gonna be an excellent show, which is why I wore my Joe Avenue
Teddy bear shirt. You a
Teddy bear shirt. I said it was a panda for Bradley Bill, and Bill was
No,
like, it's
you
not a
didn't.
panda.
Oh, damn.
No, actually, no, they said that. Lisa said that, but somebody said it's not a panda. And I'm like, it's a panda. It's a
I can say for
panda.
everything else. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
I actually corrected it.
Now,
It's all love.
go ahead.
Y'all like
She made a trial. She made
you know
a
the thing
beat.
is, I got four sisters, and y'all motherfuckers is the same way. Sometimes you're not.
Oh, she mad at me. Y'all the ones that said that she had a beat, right? She had a beat. See, that's the
First
bullshit.
of all, actually, and you can run the tape back because this is being recorded for us live. You're the one who
I'm
said
about to fill our drink back into my cup.
she didn't say.
She
You
did.
did. You're the one who
I
pointed
did
that
that.
out.
I did that.
You're the one who pointed that
Huh?
out.
What?
Okay, we gotta close the show.
Let's go to the book club.
Alright, so thank y'all for tuning in. Joe Budden paid more and raw. And everybody trying to gain fame off this shit, man. Y'all lame as fuck. I'm gonna do it too, but y'all lame as fuck. Trying to get fame off this shit. I see some niggas I respected, like, trying to, Joe Budden, you did. I'm like, man, you gotta relax, nigga. Like, you doing too much. You know what I'm saying? And if you tuned in this long, then you should know that we have sponsors. We have the Nu and Mel agency. All your insurance need, hit us up. You know, we got Mo's Marvelous Cleaning, who is going to be tomorrow. So this will be a lot cleaner when she comes to and cleans up. And, you know, we got mysexroom.net. Use the code KICKBACKER to get your rose, your wand, your vibrating panties, your dildos, your edible oils. That's what we do. And I want to send a special shout out to Cyndi Lauper, because in 1987 when she made this song "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," I took it to heart and I made sure that girls had fun.
Like they're fighting for shit. You do that.
I cannot.
I got nothing.
Mel, close it out.
Close it out, man.
Absolutely nothing. Good night.
Close it out, St. Lou.
Good night.
Close it out, St. Crystal.
Y'all don't know where y'all can find me, but y'all can find me at Shannon. It's Shannon Crystal. Yesterday it's 2 S's back to back, and no, I'm not spelling it. If you can't spell Crystal, just put the C. Find me wherever you find me, beneath the surface, and all that good jazz. And you can find me right back here next Sunday on a pod named Kickback with my crazy ass people. It's like, damn, it's funny. You choose family, but sometimes you can't. They chose me.
That should be the motherfucking tag.
Yeah. No, nigga, don't try to hug me fucking now.
Make sure y'all right back here, same time, same place. Next week for the madness, okay?
Don't hurt my brother.
Listen, I know y'all are new to me. Y'all seen me before, but I'm definitely and I'm bringing that little sis flavor.
I want a full fat.
Okay.
I can get the fuck back.
Y'all are glad Shannon here because listen.
Yeah.
Uno, we out. Everybody smile like a picture. Cheese.
No.